How about that? I know that Kenny fella. When I talk to the station, yeah, right now.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, I'd like that.
So check, 1, 2. You got me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Check. Mic check.
Is that the only way to do it?
Check it.
Check. Mic check.
I just didn't know if you're...
2858.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't know if... so your mic doesn't do it. Me. So that's Phantom.
All right.
Yeah. Roger.
Roger.
Hi, I'm Landon Trucca for CHSAA TV here on the campus of Valor Christian High School in Highlands Ranch. For the next 20 minutes, you'll see highlights and interviews as part of our pregame introduction of the state championship football game coming your way at the top of the hour. The 4A state championship pits the third-seeded Denver South Rebels against the fifth-seeded Monarch Coyotes. Coach Phil Bravo leads the Coyotes with his old-school running attack led by junior Ethan Marks. The resilient Rebels are led by Coach Tony Lindsay, and they have a stable of capable backs. Both teams come into the game on the heels of long winning streaks. However, only one team will leave Mile High Stadium with a state championship.
19 seconds, that'll do it. Monarchs celebrating, meeting themselves down in the middle of the field. 10 seconds to go as the clock counts down, and Monarch will move on to the state championship game for the first time since 2007.
I'm Landon Trucca with Valor Sports Network here with Coach Phil Bravo of Monarch High School. You guys have a big game coming up. Congratulations on your great season so far. They only lost coming early to Wheat Ridge, but what's it like to just have such sustained success?
It's been fun. I mean, I've had a lot of good times with our boys this year, and it's just been a good journey.
At what point this season, going into it through summer workouts or after a couple games, did you really feel like you had a team that could make the run at the state championship?
You always hope that you see the type of chemistry necessary to go this far. But I would say it would be on our Montrose trip. That was a long way, 6.5-hour game trip, and we played really well. And I thought it had a lot to do with the bonding of our boys.
We're just a big family. Everybody has each other's back, and we don't have any fighting with any. And we just stick together.
I don't necessarily feel like we have a better talent than we've had these past. It's just we're all so much closer than any other teams are, and we do anything for each other.
We're so close with our teammates. I think the years past, it's been a little more separate.
Absolutely. What do you feel like has been your key to success for your team this year?
Definitely our hard work and preparation. Every week we come out, we work harder than any other team out there. We really are a band of brothers. Everybody has each other's back. So
I think it's our hard work. We work really hard every week during practice. We just have that work ethic that I think the other teams don't.
All of us are brothers. We inspire each other. We work hard for each other. That's the reason why we're here. None of us are selfish and just want to be proud of each other.
they've just bought into the concept that, you know, we have to be a family, and you have to love each other, and you have to buy into each other, and you have to have each other's backs. And I thought that as this season has progressed, that's been the case for us.
You know, you kind of run the old school offense. What is it about the
It's
offense
not old school.
that appeals to you so much?
It's something I brought with me from California in 1991, and you weren't even born then. And we've been running it ever since. And you know, it's similar to what Columbine does a little bit, Coach Lowry. And we've always been under the impression that, you know, if you want to win in December, you got to run the football. And it's something we do, and some teams replicate it well, and some don't. But I like it because it's a very unique style for the state of Colorado.
There's the snap. Watson toss to Marks. He'll go straight up the middle, finding room to run and tackle. Here we go, back in that I formation. Marks up the middle, plenty of room. He's all alone. Touchdown as he breaks through. And Monarch will be the first to score in the 4A semifinal.
What would you say that you have to do to get this off?
Well, we just have to hold on to the ball and not get big plays and just be consistent like we have.
We're just focusing on cleaning up our game and just executing as best we can, and everything else will fall into place. We just do what we've done every week, and it works well.
I mean, it's always great when your defense can shut them down and get the offense the ball as much as possible, but I think for us, the biggest thing will just be holding on to the ball and driving the field like we always do.
Yeah, so on Saturday, what is your team going to do to really bring it home, bring Monarch? Another one, we saw the state championship 2002 out in the hall.
You know, we're gonna play like we have been. I mean, that's our goal. This isn't week 14. You know, we're just gonna play like we have been all year and try not to do anything.
No, it's the same, because it's just another game, and then that's how we're approaching it. It's just another game, and then afterwards, of course, if we win, we can celebrate. But for now, it's just another game. We just got to come out and play like every other game.
Left in this ball game, Pueblo West trying to come up with a stop here. High formation again. Marks up the middle, and he might have crossed the goal line. Touchdown, Monarch.
It's going to be crazy. I mean, Denver South's going to come out strong. It's the first time BPS has had a team there in a while. And of course, Monarch will be there just as strong, if not stronger, and it's going to be great.
We've been talking this week. Yeah, Sports Authority field, but it's still grass, still got lines, still got goalposts, so it's just a bigger stadium, I guess. It's just a field, so we're just going to go out and play football and try not let that distract us, because if we let that distract us, then it's going to be tough.
I'm really excited for it. I mean, it's a state championship game. It doesn't really get much better than that, but we're just going to go out there and play our game, and hopefully we'll come out on top.
Has there been any sort of inspiration for your team this year that's carried you to such an incredible record?
Well, from the beginning, we've just been talking about going to Invesco Field, or I guess Sports Authority Field now. That's just been the goal, like envisioning ourselves there, playing on that field, and winning a state championship.
Here's the kickoff. High and short. They don't want to return on this one. It'll be fumbled. Fumbled, and it might be covered up by Monarch. What a huge turn of events if it is. Right off the up man's chest onto the ground, and I think Monarch might come up with the football here. If it is, they can pretty much sit on the ball, and I think they've got it. There's the Monarch sideline erupting into a celebration as they get the football back on a costly turnover for Pueblo West, and that'll probably do it. Monarch can just sit on the football now. Monarch just trying to play it safe, didn't want to give up a big return.
I think it would be a great way to end what's kind of been like a great saga, and I know my life and a lot of my other senior friends' lives. We've been playing football since we were all together since like 4th grade, playing against each other, playing with each other, and now we've just kind of all come together, and it's just awesome.
It's always been a dream ever since we were young, since we started playing football. I mean, when we went to the championship in 07, I was in the stands and I just thought, man, I wanted to be on that field.
It would mean a lot. My senior year, I've been with these same guys since I was in 4th grade, started playing, and we won a championship back in Little League, so it would be special, definitely so.
Absolutely. Would you consider yourself one of the leaders on this team?
Definitely. I feel like, I'm a captain this year, one of the 6 captains are. And I don't necessarily, I'm mostly a leader of the O-line just because that's where I played most of the time, but I feel like
I'm going to give it my all and just kind of lead by example out there. And I know all the guys will rally around each other.
With CHSAA TV. Here I'm with Coach Lindsay. Coach Lindsay, this all your players that we've interviewed, I really said that it means a lot for them that you get this opportunity. So what does it mean for you?
It doesn't mean as much to me as like they're saying it's for me. It's really for them. It truly is. For me, it's about them. And I'm a vessel. I started when the DPS was at its peak back in 89, 90. I was sitting here from Edgewood State. The man. Now I've been through the drought. It's the drought of it. And to be here now, it's just awesome. I mean, just getting here, not even playing the game, and to watch our schools and our leagues and just older people, people who've been to the South, and just everyone in the city, it just, and the uplift.
Honestly, through the whole thing, I think we could have made it from the beginning. We had a little shaky beginning, but through the whole season, we knew that was our main focus.
Yeah, we kept believing, like, Coach Lindsay, our head coach, he kept telling us, like, since from the beginning, he's like, you guys can make it to state. And, like, we just had to believe that and take it and run with it. And just from day one, just go with it and practice hard and pay it out.
Do you guys feel any pressure? Because this is the first time Denver Public Schools made it this far in like 20 years or so. Does that weigh on you guys at all?
No, I don't think it feels pressure. We feel honored to really take the DPS name and develop it into like a great division that you can come to DPS and actually go somewhere instead of get knocked out.
Basically, the key to success is keep God first and stay humble. You gotta stay humble. You just went out there, you get a team.
Absolutely. So, how do you feel like your team has? How have they accomplished goals this year that you made at the beginning of the season?
Staying together, like putting the team first and not an individual person. So that's as a team.
And has there been a coach for you, Trayvon or Pete, that's been very influential to you this season?
Yeah, Coach Box, Coach Lindsay.
Which one's it for you?
Because before the game starts, I have a little talk with Coach Box, and he kind of gets me ready to go out there and just do what I do.
I'm here with Philip Lindsay from Denver South. You're a great running back, and there's high expectations for you coming into the year, but unfortunately suffered that injury. So what was that like, especially now watching your team have so much success?
when I hurt myself, you know, I was scared. You know, I never had an injury before this bad, and when it happened to me, I didn't know what to do. You know, but I also knew that with or without me, we're gonna have to move on, and that's exactly what my teammates are doing right now, and I'm proud of them.
And it's kind of, as a senior, you were a bit of a leader. How did you have to kind of adapt and lead from the sidelines instead of really being out there every play?
Like, we all grew up together, you know, 4 years we've been here together, so we kind of all feel the same way. If one person's down, we kind of all are down. So I chose, you know, I could have just sat there and feel sorry for myself, then go to the games, but that's not me, because I want every one of my teammates to do well, and I'm proud of them, and whether I'm playing or not, I know they're going to go out there and play ball, and all I could do is just cheer them on and try to help them out, and that's what I plan to do, you know, keep on doing it.
Yeah, it was kind of challenging, but when we played Broomfield, that was our only loss of the year, and I felt like that game kind of made us realize like we could get beat, so we had to bring our A game every time we step on that field, and from that game on, we just never looked back.
As the day has to come, just hard work and practice, just stay humble, just forget about it that was in the past, just keep rolling on and keep steam up.
So what's the area that your team's kind of struggled with the most this year that you felt like you really had to get on the line and really work on?
Themselves, me. That's themselves, just getting out of me and into team. That was the biggest thing, you know. And I heard you ask them about the game, you know, what turned us around, and it was the Broomfield game. Because at that time, I mean, our kids were going back and forth. They wanted to fight each other on the field. It was chaos for a little while. But it turned the kids around, you know. And as a coach, and I have good assistant coaches, you know, we just kept, you know, just talking to the kids and you know, getting that straight. And we finally straightened it out. And now they're understanding. You know, it took a little while, but they understand what the team's all about.
And, you know, getting to a state championship, what does that mean to you guys?
You know, it's been a real big deal since, you know, 27 years since the DPS team's in there, so we're not really just playing for us, but the whole DPS community in general, everyone around here has been really hyped up just to see South in it, so it's a real big deal, not just for us, but for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's a real big deal too, because we've been working so hard, and it's like all your hard work is finally paying off.
Absolutely. And as you were talking about, this is the first time, how many, 27?
20 odd years.
That your team has made it to a state championship. What has that meant for your student body? How is the excitement around school this week?
It's been a lot of excitement. You can't walk down the hall without someone congratulating you, telling you good job that we're going to see you on Saturday. So it's a lot of hype surrounding it. It's a lot of people looking forward to this.
Yeah, and it's like, for our senior class to like be doing it, it's like really big because we've been waiting for this for like a really long time, and it's like really big.
Is there any key areas that you want to focus on Monarch on Saturday to shut them down?
Just to get right. That's it. But we've been doing that because a lot of teams that we play have the same game plan as they do, just to pound it, and we've been stopping it so far. So I think we're doing pretty good with that.
What do you feel like your coach is going to focus on going this weekend for your team?
Less mistakes. That's where it starts at. Because the less mistakes you have, the more chance you have to win the game. Because it's going to come down to who, like, turn the ball over the most. So that's what I feel like we're going to focus on the most.
Lead your team. Are you nervous at all? Are you excited?
You know, they ask that question all the time. Yeah, I'm excited. You know, because there's it's an ultimate, man. You got all these teams, and here we are, the last two teams up there, you know. I think that's awesome. You know, it really is. I haven't really gotten a chance to be that much excited like maybe you would be, because I have to keep these guys in line and keep them focused to go and play this game, you know. So I can't really get myself out there just jumping around, you know, crazy. I have to be right, you know, keep these guys, you know, their minds level.
What's really inspired your team this year? What do you think has really kind of kept you guys going and kept you together?
Kept us together with hard work. This whole summer, we've been preparing for this. We've been out there sweating nonstop every day with each other, every day. Saturdays if we got to, Sundays if we have to, just working together nonstop, just going through hell with each other. So it feels good just to finally take what should have been ours.
Yeah, I think for me, team chemistry, like as a team, you see us walk around here, we're always together, and like that's big because like that helps us on the field too. We're not arguing and stuff, and like we're just gelling together. Nobody can stop us.
Maybe you could say that there's just one thing your team has to do on Saturday to walk away with the trophy. But what is it?
Go play some Rebel football. Go play like they've been playing. That's it. Just go be themselves. That's one thing about this team here. I let them be themselves. They're not mechanical. They all have their personalities, and I let them be this who they are.
All right, well, thank you, Coach, and congratulations on a great year. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
I'm Landon Troca here with Matt Fontenot for the 4A pregame, or the introduction for these teams ready to face off in the state championship. We have the Denver South Rebels against the Monarch Coyotes. Both teams coming in as 12-1, and this is set to be a great matchup.
Two very strong teams here coming, 5-0 in league each. And this is looking like it's going to be a good game here today.
Both teams suffered kind of mid-season losses, and now they've just been rolling ever since. Monarch comes in off of a win over Pueblo West, the top seed in the 4A playoffs. And we see Mesa Ridge defeated by the Rebels, so the Rebels could be here today at Invesco, at Sports Authority. And, this is going to be a great game between a couple of hard-nosed teams.
Sure is a very traditional style here brought in by Coach Bravo for Monarch. Often runs a very traditional, run-heavy offense. Not going to see a lot of passing out of them. So a very kind of a hard-nosed football team for Monarch here today.
A little bit of that hard-nosed style, more conventional for the Rebels. They'll also, get the ball in the air a little bit. They're a real big play team. They have a lot of very capable backs. A couple of the keys for Denver South we have is it starts on defense, and with their defensive backs need to step up and make tackles on the edge and around the perimeter. As Monarch likes to run it all over the field, so if they can kind of contain Monarch, they have a great opportunity to win a state championship.
Yeah, you see Monarch without a little bit of that passing game as the threat. The D-backs are going to be big in containing the end and not letting Monarch's running backs get the corner and go for big plays, so they really need to contain today.
Our second key for the Rebels is for them to kind of get those big plays that they've relied on all years and make sure that they can convert those and make sure that they can count on those for a source of offense and a source of points.
Yeah, some big momentum for them is going to be key, as with those big time-consuming drives, Monarch can really kind of control the game usually, but if they kind of grind a little bit in their gears, get a big play going and change the momentum, that'll be big for South, really shift the momentum their way.
And then finally, we have forced turnovers for South, and if they can kind of derail some of those long drives that Monarch likes to have, those 20-play drives where they'll just eat up half a quarter, if they can stall a couple of those by forcing turnovers, takes away the opportunity for Monarch, because Monarch really can't put up points in that big of a hurry.
Yeah, you see turnovers are almost always one of the big keys to the game for each team. But as we see here today, like Landon said, really messing with Monarch's timing and really preventing them from having those big time-consuming drives is going to be huge for South today. That's going to be one of the main ways that they will win this ball game.
Speaking of those drives for Monarch, that's what we have as our first key to the game for Monarch, is to have those live drives, long drives, and just eat up the momentum, eat up the clock, and then put points up at the end of it and wear down South.
Yeah, if they really control the ball and can run the ball at will against this team and keep the ball moving, they'll have their way with this South team on these long drives, and it'll be tough for South to know what to do with that.
You know, especially because they'll be able to wear down South. South really doesn't have a lot of team members, you know, a smaller team, especially for 4A. So if they can just get in there and keep grinding at them, then eventually they'll be able to put up some points and just wear down the South defense.
Another thing we had for Monarch that's going to be big is containing the big plays and not allowing South to swing the momentum their way. Got to really contain and play assignment football and not allow South to have any big emotional momentum shifting plays.
Absolutely. That's what Coach Bravo was talking about when we were interviewing him earlier this week. Instead of having those big plays be touchdowns, have those big plays be 20 yards and, you know, kind of limit really how big those plays actually end up being.
And the final one for them, for Monarch High School, is going to be just control the clock, again with those long drives. Yeah, really be in control of the game.
That's not something they've really struggled with this year at all. They've had drives, you know, take double-digit minutes, and they've just been able to eat it up. And if they can do that here, it keeps the offense of Denver South off the field. And, you know, that way they can limit the possessions per half and keep the kind of a low-scoring affair where they feel like they have a great opportunity to win a state championship.
Sure, they play just that grinded-out style of football, and that's what they're going to have to do here today.
And now we'll bring in Mark Johnson from 850 KOA here with us in the booth.
Guys, good to be with you. Thanks for taking part in this whole event today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on with us, allowing this opportunity. You know, what do you think the outlook for the game looks like?
Well, I think it's an interesting contest. Of course, Andy Lindahl's joining us right now as well. He'll be doing the broadcast with me at 850 KOA. You've got two very focused running teams and two that will not throw the ball a whole lot. So we like to see when teams throw a lot, pack a lunch is going to be a long game. This is going to be quite the contrary, Andy. I mean, this is going to be a short contest because we might see maybe a dozen passes combined between these two teams today.
Yeah, these teams are definitely going to pound the rock all day long. Now, South may bring a little more balance than we first expected. We'll have to see. They have all right passing yards on the year, but you're right. They definitely this whole 4A classification likes to run the football more than pass. You see the passing more often in the 5A game. But if you're coming for the 5A game today, don't be late. Because as Mark alluded to, this could be an hour-and-a-half football game, and they may kick off that second game a lot earlier than we originally thought.
Absolutely. You know, those teams are just going to pound it at each other, and it kind of comes down to the physicality up front, and that's when we were with the Denver South team. They felt like they had a big line who was going to be able to push around Monarch a little bit, but Monarch kind of feels the same way, that they got the line play. They're going to be able to run that offense all over Denver South, so it kind of comes out into who really wants it.
Well, in most of football games, and I don't care what level we're talking about, whether it's college or high school or even the NFL, it comes down to who controls the trenches. And one thing I thought it was interesting this week, guys, and I think you were all there here at Sports Authority Field a Mile High when they had the press conferences this week. Coach Lindsay, number one, very proud to be representing the DPS. It's been a long time since the DPS have had a team in the state championship game, and to have them here is kind of a neat, I think, thing for the city. But along with that, he talked about how many years there was that drought, and one of the reasons was they didn't seem to have a lot of offensive linemen. There seemed to be a little bit of a shortage of big bodies out there. That's not the case for South right now. So they're very large up front. And with the system they run, a guy like Coach Lindsay, who's got that NFL, CFL experience of his and a great long coaching heritage at TJ before coming to Denver South. I think that's going to be an interesting aspect of this ballgame, watching what happens along the trenches. It's a cliche in football. You've got to win there to win a ballgame, but I think that's especially true in this ballgame, Andy.
And here's what I find interesting. They've got big linemen on Monarch. Monarch has always been known for big linemen, beefy guys. Of course, they run a unique offense, not so unique maybe from 40 years ago, but unique in the modern times of high school football, where a lot of schools are passing it more and more as kids want to be college ready and almost NFL ready with them when they hit college. But there are some lighter guys in the middle of that Monarch line, and we'll see if that's where South chooses to attack, because the two beefy tackles are out there. They're at 280, 290. But then there's a lot of just 200, 220s there in the middle. I say that. I was 145, I think, in high school. So kids are definitely bigger. But by high school standards, the middle of the line only being 220 is a little light.
We're going to hand it back to you guys. We're going to get ready to take the air here in about 50 seconds. We'll let you take it the rest of the way.
All right, well, absolutely. Thank you for coming on with us. So, again, as he said, we're about to step off air as we're getting ready for the kickoff here at Sports Authority at Mile High. We have a great matchup here between the Rebels and the Coyotes.
Yeah, it's going to look like a good one today. We heard Coach Bravo concerned about the size of South, and both teams look like they came to play, and both are excited to be here. Denver South representing the Denver Public Schools. I've not been here in quite some time, so shaping up to be a great matchup here today.
So absolutely, and again, you can catch the game on 850 KOA, so we thank you for tuning in with us and enjoy the game.
Yep.
Take it we're good to test then? What up?
And we come to you from Sports Authority Field at Mile High, the home of the Denver Broncos here in the Mile High City, along with Andy Lindell and Mark Johnson. This is Championship Saturday for the Colorado High School Athletic Association. On Sundays, it's all about the pros. And this Saturday, partner, it's all about those who hope to be there someday. This is always a fun event we get to do here on 850 KOA, and it's great to be back for the 4 and 5A state championship games in the opener today. It's the Coyotes of Monarch coming in at 12-1 under head coach Phil Bravo. And how about this, a school out of the DPS. Tony Lindsay's Denver South Rebels come in there at 12-1 as well.
You know, and first off, before we get to this matchup, I'm not even sure we're at the right place because you and I, when we call this game annually, it's freezing every year. So all the teams should be thankful and their fans because this is really the nicest day we've had in Denver for this game that I can remember. But you're right. Normally, the 4A game is never affected by that cold weather because, as usual, and we're going to see a little of it today, the 4A teams like to run. They like to pound the ball. They're not looking to throw a lot. So, basically, the cold weather usually neutralizes any passing attack at times, and you see a lot of running. But today, we'll see if either of these teams decide to maybe open it up a little bit. I don't expect Monarch to. If there's a team that's going to throw the ball in this first matchup, it might be Denver South a little bit, Mark, but as typical in 4A, they're just going to go right at each other.
Yeah, Malik Tollerson is the quarterback, in fact, for the Rebels, and he does have the ability. He's got great elusiveness, very tough to contain back there under center for the Rebels, but he does have the ability to throw the ball a little bit. Talk about the Rebels. DPS having a school here. It has been a long, long time since DPS has been represented in the state championships. Awful nice to have them here today.
Yeah, it is nice, and I know it's nice for a lot of people around the city. There's been a lot of discussion of what happened to the city schools, what's happened to the city football. Well, Denver South is here to tell you that it's back and it's doing just fine. Thank you very much. We remember the days of Montbello, TJ, Denver South having such powers. George Washington once upon a time being schools that you feared when you came in to play football, and now not so much the same environment. And granted, it is 4A and not the top classification anymore as a lot of the kids have headed to the suburbs, but it is great to see Denver South back. A school that you and I were talking about before has produced some NFL talent. Of course, Lendell White spent a period of his career here before moving on to Chatfield. And Calais Campbell, who went to Miami, as you and I remember, and then on to the Arizona Cardinals, currently is an alumni of Denver South.
Well, we have something new for you this year as well. Not only can you listen to the state championships here at 850 KOA, you can also watch us on your smartphone, your tablet, your home computer. Just go to CHSAA.tv, CHSAA.tv, and you're going to see at least one handsome face. I'm not sure about the other one.
You're going to see the booth, so let's put the parental warning up. There's not going to be any explicit content, but there's maybe some faces that are not suitable for younger viewers.
So that's kind of fun. We welcome as well the folks from CHSAA, the students from their audiovisual program, and Keith Wall's done a great job putting this together behind the scenes, so you can dial it up there and kind of see behind the scenes in our broadcast here today. As I mentioned, Monarch comes in at 12-1. They were the number 5 seed in the 4A playoffs. They took care of undefeated number 1 seed Pueblo West last weekend in the 4A semifinals to reach the state final. Impressive ball game there. And Coach Phil Bravo's team really is kind of riding a high at this point in time.
They really are. They feel good about themselves right now. And as we heard from our younger broadcasters on CHSAA TV before, they feel like they can get physical with this South team. They feel like they can fight in the trenches. But we'll see how that plays out today. Both these teams so close to each other. I think they both feel good about the playoff runs that have gotten here to this point. South, for example, has just increased their margin of victory each game that they've gone along. But I'm curious to see how this plays out. one championship pedigree in the last 10 years would go to Monarch. They know what it's like to win the big game here. South hasn't been there in a while, so we'll see if that experience maybe helps this Monarch squad, but both feeling good about themselves.
Well, the captains are working their way to midfield. Always a big day, obviously, for these high school kids. They get to play on the home field of the Denver Broncos. The third member of our broadcast crew is Reed Fisher. He's down the sidelines, partner.
Hey, Mark, thank you very much. Glad to be here. You know, you guys were mentioning the weather earlier. This is gorgeous. I think I'm the good luck charm for weather today, just so you know. But you guys were hitting on earlier, both of these teams love to run the football. I think it's going to be very important to see which team is able to, muster avoid the championship muster as far as this atmosphere. This is a great treat to play in Sports Authority Field at Mile High, but which team can play within themselves? I think that's going to be the answer as far as who's going to win this game.
You know, Reed, first off, I don't like you very much today because oftentimes I'm the one that's freezing down there, and I'm glad that he gets to get broken in. It's nice 60-degree December weather that
it's
never
the beard.
happens.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you and the beard. You're soft, Reed. I'm just going to tell you that all day long. You're soft. But he is right. Sometimes we see it, Mark, where guys come out in this game, they use up all their energy in the first quarter, and then they don't have anything left in the tank for the end. So both teams do have to monitor being too overhyped to start the game.
You know, we mentioned the head coach for Denver South being Tony Lindsay. Now, you're going to hear a lot of a Lindsay on the field in terms of Zach Lindsay. That's one of his nephews. What you're not going to hear is Philip Lindsay. He was considered to be the top running back in the state of Colorado. In fact, he started the season out, rushed for 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns, but blew his knee out. And the reason I bring him up from our perspective here on 850 KOA, he's on his way to become a Colorado Buffalo, is Philip Lindsay.
Yeah, and that's exciting. And they know they need some talented running back. Now, they did find a couple guys this year that look like they may be good for down the road, but it's always good to get some talent up in Boulder.
Yep, there's no doubt. And one of the great stories that came out of that, in fact, on our Broncos pregame show, Countdown to Kickoff, we talked with Willis McGahee about that. Willis had gone through a blown-out knee of his own, of course, coming out of the previously mentioned University of Miami. And when Philip Lindsay went down with a blown-out knee, somebody had given Willis a call and said, hey, why don't you call the young man? So they have kind of kept in contact, and Willis has kind of coached him through it. Now, of course, ironically, Willis has got his own knee injury he's dealing with.
Yeah, he does, and hopefully he comes back soon. Should be back for playoff action, but you're the guy that gets to talk with Willis every week. Nice guy, isn't he?
Wonderful. Very nice guy, yeah. And I thought it said a lot about him in terms of calling up Philip Lindsay and talking to him after the injury. Well, I mentioned both of these teams come in at 12-1 on the season. The road here was pretty impressive for both of them in the 4A playoffs in the first round. South took care of 14th seeded Stanley Lake, and then number 6 Wheat Ridge. Wheat Ridge was thought maybe to be one of the hot teams that may make it here to the state championship. We saw them a few years ago with Parker Orms, of course, winning a title here at that time Invesco Field a Mile High, and then they took care of number 10 Mesa Ridge last week. Did the Denver South Rebels 38-22 in the semifinals. For the Monarch Coyotes in the first round, they knocked off number 12 seed Falcon 24-14, and then Vista Ridge in the quarterfinals. And then last week, I previously mentioned, impressive victory for Phil Bravo's team as they took care of Pueblo West 14-6. Many had thought Pueblo West had kind of stamped its ticket, was on its way here, and that no one was going to stop them. So that's going to win for the Coyotes.
Yeah, again, both teams like the paths that they took to get here. I think they both feel playoff tested and ready as they both got victories that build confidence as they get to this point. We'll just see how this plays out again today. I'm curious again. We talked a lot about the running. That was the focus at the press conference. We know both teams like to run. I'm just curious if maybe South doesn't try to toss the ball a little bit more than we expect them to. We'll see. You don't want to go away from your identity in the championship game, but coaches do like to throw curveballs at the other side.
Now, saying that South is the more prolific passing team of these two is not saying a whole lot. What do you think about it? They both come in averaging well over 250 yards per game rushing. The Coyotes at just under 290. The Rebels at 255. But get this number here. You want to talk about an anemic passing game, but it's not for lack of ability, it's for lack of trying. They just don't do it. The Coyotes throw for 25 yards per game. Meanwhile, to your points, Malik Tollerson and the South Rebels will throw for 364 yards per game. So they've got the opportunity. They've got the ability to do it. They've proven that all season long. So we'll see if they go to that bag of tricks here in this ball game today.
What do you think that pass looks like that nets you the 25 yards? Is that the one surprise screen a game or what?
Yeah, probably. That's about it. It's that short passing game, but it's actually a run. Well, Sean Johnson is back for the Rebels to receive, and Cameron French against South in the purple uniforms with the white trim. Those two return men have got their heels nearly back upon the goal line on the south end of Sports Authority Field at Mile High. And kicking off is Jamie Falloon for the Monarch Coyotes. A lot of times in high school ball, you see the kicker also is a young man from the soccer team. That is the case here. He's got a pretty good leg. In fact, kicked a couple of 42-yarders this season. Ball teed up at the 40-yard line. Monarch, they're wearing the black and gold. They got the white uniforms, black helmets, black numerals front and back, and then gold trim. So the 4A state championship on this state championship Saturday here at Sports Authority Field in Mile High. Monarch and Denver South swinging the right leg, and we're underway. It's a knuckleball coming up. Johnson has it bounced at the 10, bobbles it, picks it up, runs to his left across the 15, grabbed around the ankles, and taken down at the 17-yard line. Tackle there by Ethan Marks for the Monarchs. Monarch Coyotes. And now Denver South's got the football to start off first offensive snap. They'll have it first down at 10 from the 18-yard line, moving right to left.
Sean Johnson having to do his best Troy Tulowitzki to start the game. Kind of had to take that on one hop, keep it in front of him.
So the South Rebels will come out with the football. Again, both of these teams primarily running teams for South this season. Leading the way, Pete Williams really kind of came into his own with the injury of Philip Lindsay, number 28. He's the tail of the tandem, tight end to the right. Turns, hands off. Williams, stretch play, right side, turns the corner, gets by. He's got great speed, running at the 25 to the 30, steps out of a tackle, running at the 40 and out of bounds on the far side at the 42-yard line. That's a 24-yard pickup on the first snap offensively for the Rebels. First down, Denver South.
Well, not a lot up the middle, so they decided they would bend it outside, and Williams found plenty of running room there. You can see tackling is going to be important in this game. When you've got two running teams, you've got to get that back down, and not a good job on the initial play for Monarch of making that happen.
Down to the sidelines quickly. Here's Reed Fisher.
Well, Mark, I don't think anybody has to wonder about the health of Pete Williams. He looks fine to me. I think he'll have a big game today.
Yeah, they were talking about him being shaken up a little bit. First down at 10 now for the 42-yard line. Quick hitch throw on the near side. Catch is made out there, running his Chambers. Out across the 45-50, penetrates inside Monarch territory, and finally he's wrestled down at the near sideline at the 45-yard line. There in the tackle was Kid Sewell out of the secondary, and it's another first down for Denver South.
Well, that's something that Monarch's going to have to be aware of if you're going to sneak guys into the box to try to stop that running game. They will just throw it outside of that single matchup and see if they can't break a tackle and take one for big yardage.
Well, that's part of the genius of Coach Lindsay's system is you get so sucked in on the run that on occasion they'll unleash the throw. First down at 10. Now for the Monarch 45-yard line. Hand off to Williams once again. He runs it right up the middle, and he's twisted down at the 45. Maybe about a half a yard gain on that play. A couple of different Monarchs were there. So not much going. That's the first time that Monarch has actually snuffed out the Coyotes have defensively what the South has done offensively. Jeff Bergstrom, the referee today. Gary Jordan, the umpire. The linesman is Dwayne Madrid. Mike Gage is the line judge. The back judge is Dan Daniels. Willie Rodriguez is the alternate out of the Pueblo area. We've got 11 minutes to play. Just underway here. 4A state championship at Sports Authority Field a mile high. Backs are in the eye. Slot to the right, ball left hash mark. Second down and 9.5 or so. Drops to throw. Tollerson has time. Now he's flush, running to the near side. He's got all kinds of room. Blocker up front, running at the 35. Near sideline, inside the 30, out of bounds at the 27-yard line. He's got the ability to throw. We talked about him being elusive. He's run out of bounds and picks up a first down.
Great job by Tollerson, but our friend Mark Schlereth would tell Malik, tuck that ball away. Don't carry it like you're carrying a bag.
Out at the 27-yard line.
He was palming it in one hand. Now I'm going to be curious to see what his range is. He had a guy open out in the flats. Looked like he didn't want to throw what would have been about a 30-40-yard throw out to the sideline.
He picked up 18 on that scramble there. First down at 10 now from the 27-yard line. Opening drive of the 4A state championship. Hand up, Pete Williams got a hold up the middle, grab from behind, and he's twisted down. Colin Hart, the middle linebacker, was there on the tackle for the Coyotes. Short gain. Give them 4 on that one. Second down and 6 to go now for the Rebels.
It's funny, Mark. I thought the same thing. Not much there. Looked like that Monarch had done a good job of just neutralizing that line, but you look up and 4 yards gained on first down. I think South will take that.
Colin Hart, number 24, the middle linebacker for the Coyotes. He's the guy they run their defensive calls through, kind of the leader on the defensive side. 3-man front, make it a 4-man front. Now for the Coyotes, second down and 6 from the 23. Tollerson, pitch, sweeping, boundary side left, gets a block, steps inside a tackle, still on his feet inside the 20, grabbed and run out of bounds in the near side. Steps out at the 18-yard line. That's about maybe half a yard shy of the first down marker. That'll bring up third down and very short now. 2 minutes expired here in the first quarter for a state championship game at Sports Authority Field at Mile High. We're scoreless here in this opening drive by Denver South.
Let's give some credit to Kerrion Chambers. The wide receiver came in and cracked back on the linebacker. He didn't allow him to set the edge, allowed that play to get outside.
Denver running back Trevante Tasco is back there. 5'7", 266 pounds. Yeah, and he busted up the middle at the 10. At the 5, defender jumps on his back and rides him down at the 1 yard line. 266 pounds at 5'7". And it's a first down and goal to go situation now for South. He's at the 3 yard line. That's where they brought him down. That's where the Rebels will have him.
He snuck between the guard and the center on that
play. At 266, you don't sneak anywhere.
All right. He bullied his way into the second level, got into the linebackers and the safeties. Nobody big enough. They all went low. Didn't work.
Orlando Mosley goes wide to the right, wide to the left. Comes Kerrion Chambers. Backs her in the eye. Tollerson hands off. Tailback, right side. Dives to the end zone. Very near the goal line. No signal at this point. Zach Lindsay brought down maybe half a yard shy. Let's call it a solid foot from the goal line for Denver South. Second down and goal to go now for the Rebels with 9:21 to play in this opening drive of the opening quarter of the 4A state championship game.
Good call, good spot by the referees. Did not lean that ball over. Knee was down.
Tasco, again at 266 pounds, is a tailback, but it's a quarterback keeper. Tollerson keeps it, dives in, end zone, touchdown, Denver South. 9:04 to play in this opening quarter.
Let's give some credit to Michael Barfield. That was the big guard that just pushed his man out of the way. And right after Tollerson looked like he'd go off center, saw that opening off the right guard, decided he would just step over to his right, take one step, and cross the goal line.
So Denver South on its opening drive takes it all the way in. 1 yard touchdown plunge by the quarterback Malik Tollerson. After the extra point, Kareem Samar. Kick is up. It is on its way, and it is good. Opening possession by Denver South. It's a 7-0 ball game. Here at the Sports Authority Field at Mile High, along with Andy Lindahl, Reed Fisher to the field. I'm Mark Johnson. Denver South opening drive finds the end zone. We'll see what the Monarch can do. We'll take a break. Come back and continue here from Mile High Stadium after this on 850 KOA. I almost said Colorado, the Colorado Football Network. So the Rebels are on top 7-0. And now the DPS representative will kick things off for the Rebels. And let's see what Bonner can do with it.
Got time for a quick note brought to us by our friends at CHSAA TV. The last time South High School played for the state football championship was 1958. South beat Pueblo Central 7-6. Many of the members of that team were all-state. Ken Hutchinson, who went on to become a doctor, won the Gold Helmet Award, made prep All-American status. Dr. Hutchinson is in attendance with some other members of the team. That year, South also won the state championships in track, baseball, and swimming. Funny how that works out, huh? Team full of good athletes. They tend to spread their time around the rest of the year.
Suma to kick off now for Denver South. Drifting back into the end zone. Catch is made for the touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Coyotes. There on the catch was Bruce Oliver. for Monarch High School.
If you're not familiar with the high school rules, the moment it crosses the goal line, it is a touchback. There's no choice to run it back out. But again, going back to all the other championship teams South had, that's because kids didn't have to specialize in sports so much. What do you know? Maybe it's not such a bad thing.
You know, we talked about it. Not a big fan of that trend. Well, let's see what Cole Watson, the senior quarterback for Monarch, can do in this wing T formation. Give to the wing, running it across the 25 to the 30-yard line. Nice carry that time coming off the left side. Ethan Marks was there in the carry. Sean Johnson was there on the tackle for the Rebels. Marks, a junior, rushed for over nearly 1,800 yards this season and 20 touchdowns. He had 41 carries last week in the semifinals and a couple of touchdowns. There's a pitch, wing on the right side. Cuts it back against the grain out to the 33-yard line. On the carry that time, Kid Sewell for the Coyotes. Not much there, but they did pick up the first down after that opening snap to Marks.
You know what? Monarch won't look like Oregon an awful lot, but I think the one-word play calls would probably work here since most of them are runs.
Oh, man.
Not a lot of protections and routes to call out.
I did have to chuckle when the head coach Bravo was talking about not being terribly balanced. Here's a pitch to the right side, running at the 40, breaking a tackle at the 45, and Marks is out just shy of the 50-yard line at the 49. Tackle there by Cameron French for Denver South. And so just like the Rebels started out, big chunks of yardage early on for the Coyotes in this 4A state championship game, 7-0 in favor of Denver South. But Coach Bravo said, we're a pretty balanced team. We run equal numbers of times right and left in our offense. Not quite the balance we were talking about. There's a pitch once again, this time to Kid Sewell. He comes off the left side. Out across the 50, down to the 45-yard line. Gain of about 6 yards on that play. That'll make it 2nd down and 4 now for the Coyotes of Monarch High School.
Yeah, you're almost excusing yourself through a crowd in some of these Monarch plays. It's not like there's gaping holes right now, but you don't know where the pitch is coming. Where the pitch position comes will also affect where the play is run. South has to be aware while they're trying to maul their way through.
2nd down and 4 from the 45-yard line. Give to the fullback this time, right up the middle. Just shy of the first down marker, it would appear. I guess very close to the 41. Braden Papp on the carry on that one. We're going to eyeball this one. Man, it is close from up here. And now our referee steps in, Jeff Bergstrom, and says, yep, first down for the Coyotes. 7:45 to play. This one is going to move along quickly with all the running plays between these two teams. Not a lot of clock stoppage. Does there for the first down. First down at 10 now for the 41-yard line. Double wing and the fullback. There's a pitch to the left wing, and here comes Ethan Marks, and he gets steamrolled out about across the 40 at the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 2 on that play. 2nd down and 8 now forthcoming for the Coyotes.
How about Cole Watson? Not a lot of glory being the quarterback here. You're just really a fullback. Pitch it to the running back, get through the hole, and take out a linebacker if you can.
Well, he threw for 322 yards this season. He rushed for 51. Yeah, not big numbers. 2nd down and 8. Give on the to the fullback now, and straight ahead of the carry. Gain of about 4, almost 5 on that play. Dylan Glazer was there on the tote that time for the Coyotes. Watson, go back to him for a second. His dad was a tight end for the Colorado Buffaloes back in the day. 3rd down and 5 from the 36, moving left to right. Shipped off the left side, Ethan Marks. Now he gets back to the wing to the left. Watson stands up and now checks off at the line of scrimmage. Back under center, takes a snap, pitch. Marks sweeping from the left to the right. He gets hit, knocked down at the 32-yard line, shy of the first down marker on 3rd down and 5. Amos Harris was there on the tackle for the Rebels. So the first time that either team has faced a 4th down situation is right now the Coyotes look at a 4th down and 2 from the 33-yard line.
Now this would be around that field goal kicker's yardage, but they're going to go for it. Now that's interesting. I thought he was going to get the first down mark, but good job by the South tackler holding on to the jersey and ripping him down before the momentum took him past the first down marker.
Stacked eye behind the quarterback. Give to Ethan Marks. He gets ahead of steam, gets hit, but he continues to turn the legs down to the 30-yard line, and it's a first down, a gain of 3 yards. That time for the Coyotes. Nice carry, physical carry that time by Ethan Marks. And the chains move for Monarch.
Well, just enough of a shake. He had 2 linebackers ready to meet him in the point of attack right in the hole, and he gave a shake to one of them, was able to get outside so he could get enough of a crease to lean the ball over the yard to gain.
Lee Childs, the senior middle linebacker, made the tackle for South, but not in time. New set of downs. First down at 10 for the 30. Play action. Booting to his left. Watson. Hey, they're going to throw it. Throws it downfield, and it is picked off. Picked off in the secondary. Cameron French running across the 30. There's a flag in the play. 35 out of bounds to the near side of the 40-yard line. A turnover by Monarch, intercepted by Cameron French. And the DPS representative Denver South Rebels have the football once again. Let's see what the flag is all about. My guess is probably a block in the back of the return.
We've got a holding or a block in the back on the return. As you mentioned, they'll move the ball back and they'll start this drive a little deeper in their own territory than originally thought. But I'm not quite sure where the pass was going, if I'm being honest with you right now. Cole Watson threw that ball, had a couple receivers in the area. Do we have a hold there?
5:44 to play in this opening quarter. Yep. Rebels will take over. Let's go down to the sidelines now. Here's Reed Fisher once again.
Well, Monarch was having great success running the football, and that turnover could be a big play. It's all levels of football. The turnover margin oftentimes decides the game. We'll see if that's the case here today.
Holding on the defense. First down, Denver South.
All right, so on the return
TV
after the interception
timeout
by Cameron French. There was a hold on that return, and so they'll mark the yardage off, move it back to the 20-yard line. That's where the Rebels will take over. First down and 10. Well, the Coyotes were moving the football. They were having good success out there. The one time they tried to throw it, they throw it away.
Well, I'd like to see a replay of that because I'm not sure if one of the receivers maybe didn't fail the quarterback. When Marks let that go, he actually had two receivers in the area. One was behind the pass, one would have been in front of it. I just think someone quit running their route on him, and they didn't see the same thing because he threw it right to the South defender.
Well, we mentioned Cole Watson does not throw a lot this season. He did have 7 passing touchdowns. That would be his second interception of the campaign. So not a lot of throwing. And they've been relatively successful when they have done it, but they threw that one away. This double wing offense that Coach Bravo runs, it's funny how many times in this ballgame so far we've talked about a connection to the University of Colorado.
Yes.
When Coach Bravo was coming up in the coaching ranks, his mentor was Don Markham, who coached Eric Bieniemy at Bishop Amat High School in California. That's where he got this system, so it's got a connection to EB. That was the all-time leading rusher in the University of Colorado history, and they've used it quite successfully at Monarch High School under Coach Bravo.
Well, we've called a lot of Monarch games in the past. Corey Lopez, my partner for the 5A game, who will be handling the play-by-play duties. We've seen a lot of this Monarch football team. It never changes. It never changes. They don't seem to switch up what they're doing, and it's worked. Why would you change it? Because they're always deep in the playoffs. They're always a threat, it seems, every year when they get there. And here they are on this sun-drenched Saturday here at Sports Authority Field playing for another title. But we'll see how they battle back from this setback. The one thing about that double wing, you can dominate teams with it because it's tough to prepare for. If teams don't run the ball as much as you do, it's kind of like Columbine. You can't just scrap everything and find a scout team that gets you ready for Championship Saturday. That being said, if you fall behind by a couple of touchdowns, it's going to be hard to make up ground quickly. So this is going to be a big possession, even though it's early in the game for Monarchs defense.
Well, we kind of joked about the difference of the weather here today. I recall I had a speaking event last Championship Saturday down in the South Denver. Actually, down south at the Tech Center, actually. I was driving my way up here. The roads were awful. There was accidents all over. And today we've got temperatures up by the time the afternoon's over in the mid-50s. We have a beautiful day. And, of course, this field, not frequently does this happen, where Championship Saturday's on the same weekend as a home Broncos football game. But the Broncos host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tomorrow here at Sports Authority Field.
You and I have talked about that. I don't think that's ever happened. That I recall in my 9 years here. No. They're usually in Kansas City, to be quite honest with you, playing the next day.
5:44 to play in this opening quarter. 7-0 Rebels. Denver South with the football. Tollerson turns, hands off Pete Williams. Boy, he is met in the hole right there and hammered down for no gain. Great play by Petey Mitchell, the linebacker, who came charging up and just stuffed the running back, Pete Williams. Nice play defensively by the Coyotes. Second down and 10 now for Denver South.
Pete Mitchell took the middle of his face mask and just stuck it right in between the numbers that time on the runner's jersey. That was a great
forward tackle right there, huh?
The Oklahoma drill.
Yeah, that's right. They did give him forward progress, a gain of about a yard, maybe. So let's call it second down and 9 now. Just over 5 minutes to play. Receivers either side. Ball inside the left hash mark. Tollerson in center. Play action. Boots out to his right. He's got pressure in his face now. Throws it downfield, and it is caught. Caught at the 33-yard line, and a fumble after the catch. Matisse Moore had the ball go through his hand. Well, he actually held onto it about a step, and then it came loose. And now there's a pileup out there at the 37-yard line. Now, who's got it? Monarch says they do.
One official already signaled it.
Now the official, the referee, Jeff Bergstrom, says yes. So back-to-back turnovers in this game. Monarch hands it over to Denver South. And now the first downfield passing play by the Rebels They turn it over. This one on a fumble. Down to Reed Fisher in the sidelines, partner.
Well, guys, you were talking about Monarchs defense needing a big play. They certainly got it, and that's no stranger to them in this playoffs. They shut down Pueblo West last week, so this defense is certainly something you can't sleep on in this game.
All right, here comes Cole Watson and the Coyotes once again. 7-0 Rebels. First down and 10 for the 36-yard line. Pitch to Ethan Marks off the left side. He sweeps it to the right down to the 31-yard line, and then an avalanche of purple jerseys for the Rebels. So there on the tackle. That ends up being a gain of 5 yards in that play. Second down and 5 now forthcoming for the Coyotes.
One of the things you noticed with this offensive Monarch, they're giving Marks a full head of steam when he hits the second level.
Second down and 5 for the 31. Straight up the middle they go. Inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. Yeah, there's not, the other interesting thing about this wing tee, there's not a lot of area out there. So everything's very compacted. And so defensively, even from our standpoint, as you're watching, it's very tough to see where the ball's going out there. Third down and 3, double wing and a fullback. Give to Marks again from the left side. He picks up the first down as he pushes his way down to the 25-yard line and gets the first down by about a half yard. Gain of 3.5, 4:14 to play. In this opening quarter of the 4A state championship game, Denver South has got the lead 7-0 with back-to-back turnovers, and Monarch is rolling once again.
Well, what I'm guessing is the fullback position in this wing tee, because he's the one directly behind the quarterback, but also the first through the hole usually. He doesn't have a lot of scenic view out there, does he? His face mask is practically on the hip of the quarterback.
It's really amazing. It's Braden Papp, the junior. And as Cole Watson will crash down under center, literally Papp, his head is, not to be too graphic, about 8 inches behind the backside of Watson. There's a pitch. The stool off the left side. He's got a big hole. Running at the 15, at the 10, 5. Touchdown. And we're a PAT away from a tie ball game. 4:03 to play in this opening quarter. Nice run that time. Just off left guard. Big hole open up. And Kid Sewell, the sophomore, took it home for his 6th touchdown of the season, making his 9th touchdown of the year.
I'm looking for Vince Lombardi down there. He'd have loved that play. 2 seals in an alley, and by the time there was a player that was close enough to make the tackle, it was a cornerback, and they weren't fast enough to get over there and even offer resistance on the way to the end zone.
So Monarch ties this ball game, or ostensibly does. Out for the extra point now is Jamie Falloon. Nice leg. Cole Watson the hole. Down the right knee, right hand extended. For the ties. Snap, put down, kick is up. It is on its way, and it is good. And we're all evened up at 7 apiece here at Sports Authority Field at Mile High. Let's go down to the sidelines and Reed Fisher.
Well, guys, the Monarch running game is certainly not a one-man show. Ethan Marks had 41 carries last week in their semifinal, but in that time it was Kid Sewell with the big run on the drive, and that ties the game up for Monarch.
Well, but a fun game here so far. About 1 turnover each way. Monarch able to capitalize off the turnover by the Rebels. And we are tied up at 7 here in the Mile High City at Sports Authority Field. Great to have you along in this championship Saturday along with Andy Lindahl. We've got Reed Fisher down the sidelines. I'm Mark Johnson. Shannon Scott, our engineer. We've got Keith Wall, his crew from Valor High School. Of course, Valor will be involved in the 5A championship. It's Cherokee Trail, the second game of this doubleheader today. That's coming up. And the reason the folks from Valor are here is because we're also not only broadcasting on 850 KOA, but also you can watch the broadcast, not what's going on the field. You got to look at Lindahl for the entire broadcast on CHSAA.tv.
I apologize, Gene, unless you're my mom. And even then, she's a little sorry that we've unleashed that on you.
Not a good deal. Let's see. Cam and French. I beg your pardon. We have got Sean Johnson and Carrion Chambers are back for the Rebels. Below to kick off from left to right for the 40. High and end over end. Chambers back into the end zone. Makes the catch. He runs it out despite the fact the rules don't allow that. And they've got a touchback.
Got to keep the legs loose.
There you go.
Got to keep warm. Although it's 60, so maybe not.
So let's see now what Denver South can do. They have moved the ball effectively, have the Rebels. But on the last possession, had a pretty nice little drive going. Fumbled by the big tight end. Matisse Moore gave it back to Monarch, and they're able to, on a short field, find the end zone to tie things up. 4A state championship game. That 5A one to follow this afternoon at about 2:30 or so. First down and 10 for the 20-yard line. Baxter in the eye. That's Tasco, the big body back there. They give to the 266-pound running back, and he bulldozes a couple of defenders out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. And that's what 270 pounds in a 5'7" frame looks like as he rolled over about 3 or 4 Coyote defenders and picked up a first down for South.
Yeah, he got rolling because Taylor Williams, the tight end, got out there and threw a big block at the point of attack on one of the Monarch linebackers.
First down and 10 for the 32-yard line after that 12-yard pickup. And Trevante Tasco stays out there at the tailback position. Backs her in the eye, slot to the left, tight end to the right. First and 10 for the 32. Hand off to Tasco once again. Runs over his own offensive lineman. Breaks it out to the left of the 35. Grabbed by a defender and runs him all the way to the near sideline. Jeff Clary, the cornerback, was holding on for dear life. Like a scarf in the breeze, he was fluttering behind as Tasco runs out of bounds on the near side of the 40-yard line. That's a gain of 8 yards on that play.
Well, don't get in his way on the way to the dinner table. He just hip checks people out of the way, including his offensive lineman. Hey, I know you're trying to help me out, but here, move. You're in the way.
He's 266 pounds at 5'7". Coach Lindsey said, we'd like to see about 250, but he said it's not like he's flabby. He said he's all muscle. Give to the fullback, running straight ahead, cuts to his left at the 45-yard line, out to the 50-yard line. Nice move that time by Zach Lindsey, who had lined up as a fullback. He picks up a first down and gains himself 9 yards on that play. Ball in midfield now for the Rebels.
I believe that's what men in your position refer to as nifty feet.
It was
picking them up and putting them down and changing direction.
Nice hard 90-degree cut as he sidestepped the defender out there. First down at 10. Ball right at the 50-yard line. We're tied at 7. Latter portions of quarter number 1 here in the 4A state championship. 3:14 and counting. Malik Tollerson lines up under center this time. Backs her in the eye. Pete Williams is the tailback. Play action. The throw. Tollerson throws it down the left side. He's got a receiver out there, and it is picked off. Nice job by Jeff Clary. He's got the ball as he goes down. Jalen Alexander, I beg your pardon, it was 6, not 16, came up with the interception. And we've got the 3rd turnover this game, 2nd interception thrown by Malik Tollerson. He was stretching it down the left side of the speedster, Orlando Mosley. And underthrew his intended receiver inside the 10 at the 9 is where Monarch starts out. Let's go down the sidelines now. Here's Reed Fisher.
Well, Mark, that was a great job by Jalen Alexander. He had perfect coverage there on the receiver and was able to get the interception. That's exactly what you want to teach your defensive backs.
And I'll add on to that, he needed to be in perfect position. He had no help from the safety, as often I'm sure these Monarch defenders are used to that at times when you're trying to stop the run in 4A football. But it was just he and the receiver out there one-on-one. Right matchup by the quarterback. Wrong throw, though, just a little short.
So the second time the Rebels have been picked off. This time, however, Monarch's got a long field to work with. Pitch, tailback, Ethan Marks, left-hand side, breaks out of one defender's arms, runs across the 15, out to the 17-yard line. Off the left side, that's where he's eventually brought down. Gain of 7, almost 8 yards on that play. Inside 3 minutes to play in this opening quarter, tied at 7 here in the 4A state championship game. At Sports Authority Field a mile high.
Monarch was just one whiffed block away from that, maybe going the distance. One of the receivers came in and had a shot at the player that made the tackle. He missed that block. Otherwise, there's a lot of green.
Ethan Marks this time. They don't have the wings out to this time. Well, actually, one on the right-hand side. Marks lines up with a lone setback. Pitch sweeping off right guard. Backs his way across the 20. Has the first down out to the 22-yard line. That's a gain of 5 yards on that play. New set of downs now for Monarch. 2:24 to play in this opening frame.
Well, it's interesting for me. Monarch said they thought they could make some hay up the middle. I'm a little surprised. They're a little smaller weight-wise, but they must have some big, strong guys down there still, because they are finding room to run in the middle despite the fact that most of those guys are giving up 50, 60 pounds to some of the defensive players in front of them.
Mike Williams, 6'5", 315. Taylor Williams, 6'3", 260. A.J. Harris, 6', 272. Big bodies up there for South. Give to the wing on the right side. There's nothing going there. He got just drilled out there. Taylor Williams off that defensive end spot made a heck of a play defensively. In fact, where they spot this one, maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Let's call it second down and 10 now for Monarch.
Taylor Williams got in there, slipped his block, and blasted the running back. Again, a good shoulder tackle, shoulder right in the middle of the chest. That's how you want to bring him down. Oftentimes, you'll win the leverage battle, and that'll be the end of the run.
Well, I mentioned the 3 other defensive linemen. Sam Maybunny is the other end, 6'7", 260 pounds. Looks like he could play here on Sunday with a body like that. Second down at 10 for the 22-yard line. Ethan Marks once again right up the middle he goes, and he works his way out nearly the 25-yard line. It's a gain of a couple, almost 3 yards that time. Tackle made inside by Lee Childs, middle linebacker for the Rebels.
Yeah, anybody thinking that you're wrong? I believe Elvis Doomerville goes 260 right now.
But he's 5'11", isn't he?
Well, that's true. It's more compact 260, but nonetheless.
Creeping up at the 1 minute mark of quarter number 1. Backs are in the eye. Under center, Watson, pitch. Ethan Marks, right side. He comes off right guard. Had a lead blocker across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Gain of 3 on that play. Coach Bravo and the Coyotes continue to try to hammer it up inside and finding very little there. That was third down. That brings up fourth down at about 5 now. Now the first time in this ball game, here comes Jeff Clary to punt the ball away for the Coyotes.
So does that count as a Kurt Gowdy? The moment I mentioned all the good movement up the middle and the holes that open up, that kind of closed down. Did I hex him? Is that me? Is that on me?
Send the hate mail to Andy Lindahl. Cameron French is back to return. Well, he's had a couple of long ones this season. He stands at the 38-yard line up to a right. Clary to kick it away from inside the 20. He shanked it. Coming to the near sideline. Bounces at the 50 off the bounce. Taken by French. Sidesteps the defender to 50. An little stutter step move out of bounds. He got by the punter, Jeff Clary. And he steps on the near sideline out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
I wish we had the coach mic'd up. That's one where he decided to catch it on the bounce, and he's standing flat-footed as a player's coming at him, and you're screaming, no, until he makes a miss. And then it's yes, go. Good decision.
Great play. 12 seconds to play. In this open quarter, tied at 7. Been a good one here so far. Had 3 turnovers, though. Malik Tollerson has thrown a couple of interceptions, a quarterback for South. And actually, one of them was a fumble, I should say. Monarch also throwing a pick. First down at 10 now for the 47-yard line. Backs for the eye, hand off to Pete Williams. Right side, steps out of a tackle, running at the 40. Cuts away from a defender. That's Jake Hummel, who chases him down from behind. Brings him down at the 39-yard line. Gain of 8 yards on that play. And that'll bring us to the end of quarter number 1 here in the 4A state championship game. Monarch and Denver South. Been a good one so far for all the marbles in the 4A classification. We are tied at 7. Denver South has got the football. Let's take a break. We'll continue on this championship Saturday here from Mile High Stadium after this on News Radio 850 KOA. Big time, you think?
Yeah. We're how we treat
I don't
you.
know what to tell you.
All I want everyone to know, you and I asked Rich the same question.
A lot of bad barbecue and questionable steakhouses along the Midwest road of the CU Big 12 schedule.
Police escorts driving on the sidewalk.
Lotta Reed, our sideline reporter today, deciding we're going to go get some seafood, and he liked the ribs.
He will not let that
anywhere
go.
in sight, but you know what? Hey, I see a lot of fish out there in the ocean. I imagine that's fresh. I'll take the beef you flew in from the middle of the country.
Here we are in Philadelphia. What should I eat, guys? Well, you got to get the Philly. Now I feel like deep dish pizza.
I know. I disappointed Mark by not ordering anything out of the ordinary this year.
Oh, I don't believe that
He's
for a minute.
Turned over a new leaf this season.
I doubt it. That is a lie, and I'm tired of you telling them.
Reed, are you bringing it up?
I got it.
Okay.
And a petite filet.
Actually, you take it. They're ready for play.
Pass is complete to Orlando Mosley.
Yep. Quickly out of the timeout, little hitch throw to the right side. Orlando Mosley made the grab for Denver South and picked up a first down as he took it down inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. So first down at 10 now for the Rebels. 11:43 to play. Just underway here, second quarter, tied at 7. 4A state championship. Backs from the eye. Turns to his left. Hands off to Pete Williams off the left side. He bends it around a corner. Beats one defender inside the 25 down to the 22-yard line. That's a gain of 13. And a first down for the Rebels. Colin Hart, middle linebacker there in the tackle for the Monarchs.
So that's an interesting play. We'll see if the blocking continues to hold up, but there's one guy that gets a shot in the early going at Williams, and he misses, and that's happened a lot today. Now, sometimes he's made that tackle, sometimes he hasn't. But if that initial tackler misses, it's 10 yards into the secondary before next guy gets a shot.
The Rebels are rocking and rolling here. First down and 10 on the 22-yard line, moving left to right. Ball left hash mark, backs for the eye. Give tailback again. There's a flag in the play. He's running it at the 10-yard line, and he squares up the shoulders and pulls inside the 10, down to the 8, almost the 7-yard line. But hold the phone. We got a flag on the near sideline here.
This has got to be some kind of procedure from where it happened. I don't know if we have a neutral zone infraction or maybe someone in an illegal formation.
Illegal shift is the indication from referee Jeff Bergstrom. We'll get his official call here momentarily. So you can wipe off the run of about 15 yards here. Here comes the call.
Illegal motion on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Snap was so quick, I couldn't tell you who moved, but someone did. They got caught. Now, it's interesting because in high school, we still have the umpire behind the defensive line, Mark. You talked about the running back squaring his shoulders. He squared it right at the umpire, who was smart enough to get out of the way. They haven't moved him like the NFL into the backfield.
First down at 15 now from the 27-yard line. Ball left hash mark, pitch, backs to the outside eye, sweeping right side. Pete Williams gets a block. Here comes more flags. Inside the 20, runs into a couple of Monarch defenders down to the 16-yard line. It was late scramble for the football. Kid Sewell comes up with it, but the ball was down. This one's coming back, though, as well. I think you're going to have a hole on that right side as they swept it to the near sideline.
Well, what's interesting about it is the block that I think they're calling occurred 5 yards really where the linebacker lined up. He didn't move as he waited for the sweep play to run away from him.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty, spot of the foul. Replay first down.
That's a penalty far away from where that run ended up going.
Denver South's moving in the wrong direction here. Moving back, so tack on another 10 yards. Moving back to the 35-yard line from the spot of the foul down at, makes it first down at 23 now with inside 11 minutes to play in quarter number 2. Tied at 7. Monarch and Denver South here for the 4A state championship. Cherokee Trail and Valor coming up in the 5A title game. Corey Lopez will jump in the seat here and take you home with that one with Andy Lindahl later on today. We'll be heading up. There's a timeout call.
Timeout, Denver South.
Rebels want to talk it over. I'll be heading up later on today here on 850 KOA. We've got Colorado Buffaloes basketball. CU ranked 19th in the country, undefeated at 6-0. We'll be up in Laramie at what they call the AA, the Arena Auditorium against 7-0 Wyoming tonight. 7 o'clock, 7:05 actually. We'll hit the air with the Buffs warm-up. Buffalo Stampede at 7:30. And the tip-off between the Buffaloes and the Cowboys just after 8 o'clock tonight.
That's a late one.
Very late one, yeah.
Then you got to drive home?
Yes. We'll be driving home. Kenny and I will be driving home tonight.
Imagine there'll be a stop for a shake somewhere along that route.
I think we'll probably do that.
Better find an all-night place, pal.
Hopefully it's a celebratory shake after the Buffaloes, because they've got that big game with the Colorado State coming up on Wednesday night. What a stretch the Buffaloes have at Wyoming, home to Colorado State on Wednesday, at Kansas on Saturday, and the following Wednesday at Fresno State. Let's bring in the third member of our broadcast crew, that being Reed Fisher down the sidelines. Reed?
Well, not to interrupt the tales of Mark and Kenny's road trip to Laramie, but this is an outstanding atmosphere down here. You got a great turnout from both teams, and at the press conference on Wednesday, Tony Lindsay, the coach for South, talked about how much that has helped his team this year. He's talked about how in years past you could count the people in the stands. Says they traveled several hundred down to Colorado Springs for their semifinal last week, and both teams are feeling the atmosphere here down here.
Boy, not only counting the people in the stands, when he took this program over a few years ago, there were 17 athletes on his football team. 17. You couldn't practice.
Practice?
They couldn't practice out there with the full lineups because they didn't have enough bodies at that point in time. So he's done a great job growing the program as Tony Lindsay for Denver South. 10:27 to play in the first half. Tied him at 7 here in this 4A state championship game. Rebels have had some penalty issues here. Legal shift and a hole. So looking at a first down at 23 now on the 35-yard line. Out of the timeout, Orlando Mosley and Kerryon Chambers go wide to the right. Under center, Malik Tollerson. He's got the backs in the eye of the big fella, Trevante Tasco. Here's the tailback just behind Zach Lindsay. They've got some major yardage to pick up here, but they've got 3 downs to do it, or 4.
You know, at some point we might have to zoom the camera in if we can on Reed. If you were to throw in one of those old school NFL sweaters, he looks like a coach down there.
First down at 23 from the 35. Tollerson to throw. He's got pressure in his face. Sprints out to his right now. Gets inside a defender, running at the 45 of the 40. Rears back, rifles it downfield. Leaping grab attempt is in and out of the hands, but picked off by Jeff Clary. But was he in bounds? It ricocheted off the hands of Mosley as he broke off his route. Clary got it on the deflection, and now no, it's not complete as he came out of bounds before he had full control for the Monarchs.
I was getting a little nervous there. That clearly was a play. You could see it in live action. Great job of catching it on the tip, but Clary was out of bounds. No way. It didn't look to me like he got close to getting that foot down.
Well, it was
yeah,
relatively
on the
close,
replay,
actually.
It was closer than I thought, but then we go back to the possession.
So second down at 23 forthcoming. Let's bring in Reed Fisher once again. Reed?
Well, guys, that play happened right in front of me, and it was really hard to tell in live action, but I thought there was a good chance he might have gotten that foot down. It's too bad they don't have access to the replay equipment that's in this NFL stadium.
He might have gotten a foot down. We're getting a slow motion replay of it. Right foot down, ball in his hands. That's an interception. So the Coyotes miss out on one there. Second down at 23, drop play. Hand off to Lindsey, and he gets stonewalled, about a half a yard loss at the 35.5-yard line. A host of Coyotes there. Nothing going on that play, and it brings up third down and just over 23 yards to go.
Yeah, at this rate, the way they're going, the Coyotes may get the ball back where they would have picked off the ball anyway, and that looked like that was an interception. You're right, I can't believe he got his foot that close. Interesting on that pass play, though. Everything breaks down, everybody's covered, your quarterback scrambles, and you can tell it's a team that's not used to throwing the ball as much as others because no one breaks off their route and really tries to get open.
So third down long, 23 now. Ball just outside the 35-yard line, tied at 7. 9.5 to play in the first half. Baxter in the eye, slot to the right, and now here is a flag and a delay of game coming against South.
Prior to the snap, delay on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Oh, the Rebels have had their flag issues on this possession.
So you're a running team. It's third and 28. What call are we going to here, Mark?
Punt.
Surprise him early. Down him inside the 5.
Little quick kick right here. Third down at 28. Long 28, by the way. Tollerson drops to throw. He's got time. Now he's flushed. Running to the far sideline. Running to the 40. There's a flag. It was just a tackle out there by Tasco, and the quarterback Tollerson runs out of bounds to the far side of the 30. Well shy of even the initial line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
but Tasco went out there and just tackled the defender.
That might be a clip. Was he in front of him? I saw him take the player down. Nope, they're going to call it a hold. But
I mean, he just went out and grabbed the guy and bear hugged and brought him to the ground, trying to free up some space for Malik Tollerson.
Holding on the offense. Penalties declined. Fourth down.
Yeah, they're going to decline that, make it fourth down at 28. And sent out to punt this football away. Lee Childs is the punter for Denver South. Now he stands back at the 45-yard line.
Do they take a penalty here? Move it back 5 yards? Give themselves a little more room?
No, he's going to snap it and kick it. Boots this one downfield. Got a little too much on it. Lands in the end zone for the touchback. Well, you and I talked about that before. I've never quite understood when a team
TV timeout
automatically takes that penalty, that delay of game penalty. Why the other team doesn't just decline? Why give them what they want? I've always wondered that.
You're right. I don't know. And works out better for Monarch here not getting the interception. They're going to gain about 18 yards of field possession on that one.
We've got that 5A state championship game coming up again at 2:30 this afternoon as Valor comes rolling in here against the Cherokee Trail. Like I said, I'm going to take off on that one. You looking forward to that one?
I am looking forward to that one. Now, Cherokee Trail, I think, has got a lot of heart. I don't think people should count them out. Show up, cheer for your team, and we'll see what happens with Valor. I mean, Valor, after a rough start to the season, has just been on not on a roll, a steamroll. Really, since October.
Well, we say rough start. They lost to Mullen in a very good game. They went on the road out west and played one of the top 20 teams in the country, as I recall, and came back, and since then have been untouched by virtually anybody they played. Down to the sidelines we go. Reed Fisher.
All right, thanks, guys. You know, it's interesting. This game's only 7-7 right now. Both teams have averaged over 30 points, I believe, during the course of the regular season. So both offenses have had success moving the ball during the season. But you get to the championship level, it's amazing how much defense can take over. I think we've seen that here today.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Raider, I mean, the Coyotes came in averaging 35 points per game. Denver South at nearly 38 points per contest. These two defenses have done a good job. And when they have tried to throw, which has not been often, but it has not gone well. You've already had a couple of interceptions in this ball game. Tied at 7, first downs 8-6 in favor of South. Total yardage 155 to 99 in favor of South. Snaps per game almost exactly the same. You got 0 passing yards for Monarch. That's not a surprise. They so rarely pass the football. But right now it's pretty even up from a statistical standpoint. The time of possession, about a minute advantage for the Rebels at this point in time. So after the punt by Denver South, Monarch takes over. 9:16 to play in the second quarter. First down and 10 for the 20. Double wing formation. Give the Ethan Marks off that left side. Sprints it to the right. Across the 20 out to the 22-yard line. A couple of yard pickup on that play. Denver South there nicely defensively making the stop.
Just no push on that play last time for Monarch. And I think that last drive for South, as they hurt themselves with multiple penalties, moving themselves back, really illustrates why neither team can afford to get into a throwing situation, a must-throw situation in this game.
Second down and 8 for the 22-yard line. Triple I once again. Give to the tailback Marks. He gets hit at the 24, spins away from the defender across the 25 up to the 26-yard line. That's eventually where he is brought down. Darian Childs was there on the tackle. Late substitution defensively for South, running off the field. Third down and 3. Quarterback decides to keep, and Watson stumbles. Might have lost his footing on third down and gained maybe a half a yard. Right there defensively was Sam Maybunny. And so that makes it a fourth down and 3, almost 3.5, in fact, for Monarch.
We've got 8:10 left. 4th and 3. Are they going for it? I didn't see the punter come in.
Nope. Offense stays out there. 8 minutes to play in the first half. How about this? Fort Hays State Championship game. 4th down, long 3 from the 27-yard line. Watson under center. Got a triple I behind him. Now he stands up, looks to the far sideline. It's maybe a bluff here.
I agree. I don't think.
Yep, here comes the timeout by Coach Bravo and the Coyotes.
Timeout, Monarch.
I think a smart timeout by Coach Bravo. I don't think you should run it there. That last drive, there was no movement. The big gain of 5 yards came because of some nifty running by the running back. But other than that,
so you're saying Bravo on the timeout by Coach Bravo, you're saying?
Right, good job. Bravo, right. Really, I mean, not all of us are as clever as you. I don't need any curveballs thrown my way, but no, that last drive, that was impressive for at least defensive stand, maybe I ought to call it, for South, was impressive because they did not allow a lot of movement at the point of attack by that Monarch offensive line.
And, you know, interestingly enough, in a ball game like this, there's a feeling out process. Both teams move the ball very well early, but since then, it's been a stalemate here in the last, almost a full quarter at this point in time, where both defenses really kind of shored things up against the opposition's offense.
Yeah, it feels a little like, and we'll see if Monarch doesn't continue with it, as if Monarch has just said, we're going to make you beat us with the pass, because that last couple, or at least that last drive now, again, South hurting themselves with the penalties, but Monarch pretty much just said, we're not letting you run.
Well, offense comes back out there, partner. 4th down and 3 for the 27. Moving from right to left. Pitch, Ethan Marks, and again, the avalanche comes down to Taylor Williams. Comes off the edge, chases him down from behind. A gain of a couple. They needed 3.5, and that's a turnover on downs. And Denver South, because of that gamble by the Coyotes, gets great field position. The Rebels will have it first down at 10 from the 29-yard line, deep inside Monarch territory. Let's bring it. Reed Fisher down the sidelines.
Boy, guys, I think we're going to look back at the end of this game and think what a big play that was right there. Very gutsy decision by Coach Bravo, even after calling the timeout. And for Denver South, if they don't score here, this could come back to bite them as well.
Yeah, it's a momentum point in the game for sure. We'll see if anyone grabs it.
First down at 10 for the 29-yard line. Off the snap, there's a flag and a stoppage of play.
Is this another shift penalty?
Procedure call. Yep. 7:37.
Prior to the snap, called start. Offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
I think someone just got a half a second jump. It didn't seem to me that there was a real egregious
Somebody shifted out there.
Jump there.
They weren't supposed to.
Yeah, something moved. So again, South going in the wrong direction. And as Reed Fisher talked about, here's your chance to really seize control of the game.
They've got a bad case of the yips here the last couple of possessions, don't they?
They do.
7:40 to play in the first half, tied at 7. First down and 15 now from the 34-yard line. Ball left hash mark, give tailback. And Tasca, the big fella, kind of feels his way along. Breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles. Steps out of a third. They can't get this guy down. Finally, they do, as he kind of gives a bit of ground, working his way to the right at the 35-yard line. Loss of a yard. Tackle there by Jacob Stockebrand. Boy, you can't bring him down.
No, Tasco just does a good job of pushing guys out of the way. Again, pushing his lineman into the guy that he's blocking and making him move because there was not a hole there. Both these defensive lines are holding up extremely well against the push of the opposing offensive line.
Well, you got a name like Jake Stockebrand, you have to be a linebacker, don't you?
You do.
Sounds like a linebacker. Sounds like Michael Stonebreaker a few years ago. Second down at 15. Give tailback. Pete Williams tries to stretch it left. Pulls away. Stiff arms a defender. Running at the 30-yard line. Runs straight into a Monarch defender and pushes him down inside the 27 to the 26-yard line. So they gain back the penalty yardage and then some. That'll make it third down and about 7.5 to go now as the ball is spotted just outside the 26-yard line.
You know, normally you don't want to run laterally, but it's fanning out this Monarch defense and actually creating some lanes, so it's working for South right now.
Almost 8 yards on that pickup there. Third down at 17. I beg your pardon. Third down and 8 on that one. Option right. Tollerson keeps, steps inside a block, but he's hit, knocked down at the 20. Ball came loose. There's a pileup and a fumble on the play. Indication is maybe Monarch has got it. And they do. Turnover by Denver South. So they had the opportunity on forcing the turnover on downs. And another turnover for the Rebels. That is 3 so far this afternoon.
We've got a hurt Monarch player down there for the Coyotes. I can't see who
John
it is.
Sanders, the defensive lineman.
One of the big boys for sure. Hopefully he'll be okay. He's on his knees.
Well, Porter, we have had, look at this now. Monarch has got an interception. They've got a punt, a turnover on downs so far in this game. Denver South has got a fumble, an interception, and now another fumble in this game. So you've had those 2 successful drives, but just kind of illustrate our point. Sanders is up, appears to be okay. He'll run off the field. These 2 defenses have really ratcheted up their play, I think, through the course of this first half of play. With 6:15 to play now in the second quarter, tied at 7.
Yeah, these 2 teams, if they needed to get to know each other better, that's been accomplished. And now I think everybody's settled into their game mode, and it really has been tough. Monarch laying that helmet down. I think we would have had another interesting 4th down situation had they not forced that fumble, because South was going to be about a yard away from the yard to gain in order to move those sticks. And I wonder if they would have taken their turn in going for it, but they would have been deep in Monarch territory, whereas Coach Bravo trying it in his own territory. But maybe that's just a statement. I thought when he went for it, it was a statement about how he felt about his offensive line, and maybe it was, but maybe in fact it was a statement about how his defense is playing, and that gamble ended up paying off for Monarch as they now get the ball back, and we'll see what they can do with it.
Let's go down to the sidelines. Reed Fisher is the third member of our broadcast crew.
Thanks, Mark. Just to pick up on what you guys were talking about, the 2 defenses have really stepped up in this game, and I think the decision to go for it on 4th down, I think he knows it's going to be a tight 1-score game one way or another. I think he was really trying to get the first down to try to get some momentum going. You know, Monarch had a 23-play drive in the 4th quarter last week in their semifinals, so they're no strangers to that kind of long drive, but as it turns out, both defenses have made a play here.
Well, both of these teams, that's kind of their game. Long, sustained drives, keeping the other offense off the field, but they've had issues with the turnovers so far in this ball game. We're tied at 7. Andy Lindahl, Shannon Scott, our engineer, Reed Fisher down the sidelines. I'm Mark Johnson. 5A state championship coming up at 2:30 this afternoon. And we'll have both here on 850 KOA.
Reed referred to it. You can get a quarter-long drive out of both these teams if they get that run game going. Hasn't happened yet, though.
First down at 10 for the 21 coming out of the timeout. Backs are in the stacked I once again. Kind of deep now. Well, the way they line up, they get the 2 running backs, make it 3 running backs. 2 are tight behind the quarterback, and then Ethan Marks goes deep. They give to the fullback, Papp, and he bulls his way across the 25, across the 30, up to the 32-yard line. That's a first down carry of 12 yards by Braden Papp, the 215-pound junior, with a nice bruising run that time for the Coyotes and a new set of downs.
Well, and a good call to give it to Papp. It seemed like a lot of the South defense just took off as they did not expect Papp to have the ball. He ran by 2 tacklers and didn't realize he did have it.
Cameron French there in the tackle. First and 10 for the 32. Get Ethan Marks, the tailback. He runs off left side again. Nothing going there. They've done a good job. Have the linebackers for the Rebels to kind of shadow him, keep an eye on him. He was brought down by Lee Childs, the middle linebacker that time for the Rebels. Gain of only 2. Second down and 8 now. Ball at the 34-yard line. Inside 6 minutes to play. This opening half of football here at Sports Authority Field a mile high.
And again, on most plays, just not a lot of push out of that Monarch offensive line.
Second down and 8 from the 34-yard line. Again, that stacked eye. Give to the fullback once again, and Papp dragging defenders as he works his way with Zach Lindsey grabbing him around the ankles. Across the 38 to the 39-yard line. Nice pickup that time. About 5 yards. It'll be third down. And we're going to call about 2.5 as the ball's just shy of the 40-yard line.
And the misdirection's getting the South defenders to go the wrong way.
Third down. Long 2. Tight end to the right. Backs again that stacked eye. Give to Ethan Marks. He gets hit in the backfield. Great job by Denver South that time. A.J. Harris, the big defensive tackle, was there to bring him down for a gain of a half yard. And so now another interesting fourth down situation for the Coyotes. Fourth down and 2 to go for the 40-yard line.
And again, the punter does not run into the game, so it looks like Monarch will go for it again. But how about the strength of the defensive tackle for South that time? Had a handful of jersey and drug him down.
4:35 to play in the second quarter, tied at 7. 4A state championship, fourth down and 2 for the 40. Stacked eye against Watson, gives to Ethan Marks. He gets hit, breaks out of a tackle, picks up the first down. Good individual effort that time across the 45 up near the 48-yard line. That is a gain of 8 yards to that carry by Ethan Marks.
Well, good job by the offensive line of getting him the yard to gain. Again, Marks added kind of the frosting to the cake by breaking out of there, but there was good push from his offensive line that even if he was down at the point of contact, of initial contact, he still would have moved those sticks.
Cameron French eventually on the back end of that South defense making the stop. First down at 10 now for the 48-yard line. Double wing, pitch to Marks off the left side, sweeping to the right, spins away from defenders as he penetrates inside South territory, and he's hitting him down at the 48-yard line.
Cole Watson leading the way again.
Good healthy yardage. That time on first down, pick up a 4. Second down at 6. Now from the South 48-yard line. Cole Watson, the quarterback, the senior. Stacked eye once again. Watson gives to Papp, the fullback, and this time South is there. They saw it coming. Shaquille Moore, the strong safety, came up. He made the tackle at the 46-yard line. So that time they read that one. Let's quickly pause 10 seconds for station identification of the 4A state championship game.
Third down, 4.
Third down and 4 now for the Coyotes. 3:08 to play in the first half, tied up at 7. Double wing formation. There's a pitch. Coming off that right side was Kid Sewell. He comes off left guard. Gets hit by Shaquille Moore. But what was the forward progress? He got pushed back. I think he only made it to about the 44-yard line, so not a lot there. So that'll bring up fourth down and 2 now for the Coyotes.
South player came out of there with the football. It looks like, I guess they're blowing him down, and that knee's probably down anyway.
He was down, so fourth down and 2. From the 44 inside South territory, double wing. Fullback, Watson under center. Motion man is Ethan Marks. Shifts to the backfield, now back to his wing off the left side. Watson now stands up and calls a timeout. Timeout on the field, 2:52 to play in the second quarter. We'll take the break as well. 4A state championship tied at 7 here on News Radio 850 KOA. This is 60, right? This will be kind of tight here because they waved off the TV timeout.
If we have time, I can take it out. If not, probably be better if you take it.
All right.
Wow. They just snapped the ball. South was offsides. Did you see that DB?
Yep.
DB chased the motion player.
Yep.
Now, see, again, we talk about the field. I don't know how much the edge is going to be
affected. The end zones will be okay, but look at the middle. They're starting to chew up the middle.
Well, and with the...
yeah, that could be interesting for the second game, let alone for tomorrow.
Well, the narrow hash marks, too, in the NFL, everything's in the middle of the field. How much time there? Okay. I think we'll be okay here.
It's good to have it here. I just don't understand how they always get a road game the next day. I don't know how that didn't work out.
I don't know.
Yeah, Mark, you better take it. They're coming back out here.
All right. I got it. All right. On 4th down and 2, a pitch to the right wing, Kid Sewell, and he gets a good push up front off left guard across the 41 down to the 40-yard line. Into 5 on that play. That's a first down for Monarch. And so the second time in this drive, partner, they've converted a 4th down.
And Sewell ducks under some tacklers to, again, get that first down mark. Looked like he was kind of jammed up with his blockers.
Lee Childs is there on the tackle. First down and 10 there with the south 40-yard line. Left wing back. Ethan Marks with a pitch sweeping to his right. Inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line. Pickup of 6 yards on first down, second down and 4. Now forthcoming. Zach Lindsey, one of the Rebels here on the tackle defensively.
Pickup of about 5 yards on the play.
South player slow to get up, but Monarch back to the line. Not going to give him a breather.
Second down and about 4 yards to go. Give to the fullback, and this time South read that beautifully, and they stack him up and hold him for no gain on second down.
This is man's football here, isn't it? A lot of times you know what these plays are going to be. We've seen them over and over again. It's just, are you tired enough, or are you still ready to go? Are you still ready to make the tackle? Are you fatigued?
It's not mobile football, as they call it, right?
Sure.
Slobber knocker. Third down and a couple. Pitch. Ethan Marks. He's laying in the pile. He cuts off the pile to his left and picks up some positive yardage down to the 31-yard line. There's a late flag thrown in, however. He is shy of the first down marker by about a yard. Got stacked up on the right side. Was actually laying on top of the pile. And then rolled off and came to the left before he was brought down. Penalty against South.
Another costly mistake. And a good job by Marks of keeping the legs churning.
Unintentional face mask on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Result of the play is a first down.
Just like the score. Tied up at 7 right now. Even ball game. Total yardage 168 to 143 in favor of South right now. 141 to 143 is the rushing yardage. Monarchs got a 2-yard rush advantage. But with the penalty, they pick up the first down. First down at 10. From the 27-yard line, give Ethan Marks off the right side. He's got one man, that's French. He's met at the 15. He rides him out of bounds to the far side inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. That's a first down carry from the 26 inside the 10 at the 8. French was the last man there, and he couldn't bring him down. He just ran him out of bounds to the far side.
And again, not much of a gap, but enough that he could get through, and South just slow to react to the tackle, the runner, and that seems to be the theme of this drive.
Timeout.
They've got things going.
Second charge timeout of the half.
See, I feel like that's a timeout because the coach feels like his guys are fatigued.
Yep. Well, that's what happens with these kind of offenses. It's just that fatigue factor. You've got big bodies laying on you all afternoon long, and eventually you start to break down. You get tired. You make mental mistakes. You're not filling your gap. And next thing you know, they break one on you. That's what happened there. At 26, down to the 8-yard line. Let's go down to the sidelines once again. Reed Fisher prowling the sidelines down there for us this afternoon.
I am prowling the sidelines. And, you guys are talking about fatigue on the defenses. That could maybe be having an impact in the fourth quarter. Even if you're not seeing all of it now, these long drives can have an impact later in the ball game. And I'm sure that's part of what Monarchs coach is thinking on going forward on fourth down all the time.
Yeah, I would think so. Tony Lindsay calls the timeout after that 18-yard pickup, though, to get his guys reset.
Well, this is a big stand. I mean, let's be honest about it. Minute 3, with the way things have gone in the passing game for South, I'm not sure you're exactly going to assault down the field and try to even this game up if they get into the end zone. So I think he wants his guys to know this is the stand that you need right now to keep it close.
1 minute and 3 seconds remaining in the first half of this 4A state championship game, tied at 7. First down, a goal to go from the 8-yard line. Watson gives to Ethan Marks. He cuts inside one defender at the 8-yard line, down inside the 5 of the 4. And that's where he's eventually brought down. Johnny Coleman, the linebacker, was there on the tackle. Second down and goal to go. They'll spot him maybe just inside the 4, so about 3.5 to go for the Coyotes. Ball right hash mark, quickly out of the huddle, straight up to the ball. Second down and goal to go for the 4. Double wing formation. Watson turns, gives up. Ethan Marks follows a blocker. End zone. Touchdown, Coyotes. 4 yards out. Ethan Marks on the score. And we've got a 6-point differential now, pending the PAT. That is a 21st touchdown of the season for the junior Ethan Marks. Nice drive that time. A couple of 4th downs converted by the Coyotes.
That is huge for a lot of reasons, but let's us not forget, Monarch gets the ball back to start that second half. So they're going to have to come right back out, does South, and defend this yet again.
Out for the extra point now for Monarch High School. Jamie Falloon. He's got a good leg on him. Snap put down. Kick is up. It is on its way. And it is good. Yeah, we've got a 14-7 ball game in favor of Monarch High School. This 4A state championship. 33 seconds remaining in this first half here at Sports Authority Field at Mile High. Nice drive that time by Coach Bravo's team. Let's go down to the sidelines. Here's Reed Fisher.
Well, thanks, Mark. I want to go back to the start of that drive. Remember, Monarch went for it on 4th down, didn't get it. South had an opportunity to score. Monarch's defense came up with a huge turnover, and then Monarch was able to get that drive going. So that could go back and look at the turning point of the game when we look back on this thing.
Well, with this kind of offense and 33 seconds remaining in this half, you can't imagine a whole lot's going to happen here for Denver South. Back to return. Kerrigan Chambers, Cameron French. They stand facing the sunshine in the north goal line of Sports Authority Field a Mile High.
I don't disagree with your assessment, but I think if you're South, you may have to take a risk that you hadn't planned on. Because, again, you're giving the ball back to Monarch. Now, you'll get the halftime break, so maybe some guys get their legs back underneath them. But it's probably going to be a short kickoff if it looks like the initial one of the game. You may get a return chance here. I don't know what your field goal kicking situation is, but I feel like you've got to try something.
Jamie Falloon for the Coyotes has it teed up with a 40-yard line up to a right. Number 1 approaches. Pops this one up. It's in the air, comes down at the 35-yard line. Monarchs surrounding that ball. It's loose, but finally dove on inside the 25 by the Rebels out there. Cameron French came up. I beg your pardon. That was Mosley came up and actually fell on that football at the 22-yard line.
Wow, and that was a live ball. Interesting.
Since the touchdown by Denver South on their opening possession, here's what they've done. Fumble, interception, punt, fumble. So since that opening drive, this Monarch defense has done the job on the Rebels. First down and 10 for the 22. 2 seconds went off the clock on that play. 31 seconds remaining, and now there's a flag.
Too many men on the field.
Yep.
Prior to the snap, substitution infraction. 12 men on the field. The offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Well, big number 54, Tariq Roberts, the 6'4" freshman lineman, was out there in the field. He came off.
He's not sneaking off the field.
No, he's not.
Not at that side.
Tony Lindsay looked in and he put his hands in the palm like, I'm not sure what happened there. First down at 10 for the 22. First down at 15, I beg your pardon. Here to the tailback, Pete Williams out the left side. Boy, he's got some room. Running at the 30, nearly tripped up. Steps out of another one. Hit at the 40-yard line, and he's hammered down at the 41. Oh, what a run that time by Pete Williams. Came off guard, right side, cut it back against the defense, and all the way up from the 27 to the 41-yard line.
We were one tackle away from having a tie ball game. Williams had fought off his first 2 attempts at being tackled, and if it weren't for the last wave,
Bruce Oliver. For him. Clock starts running again. Here goes Denver South now, first and 10 for the 41-yard line, down to 11 seconds. Backs are in the eye. Tollerson turns, hands out to Pete Williams. He is met right in the hole and hammered down. Beautiful play that time by Petey Mitchell, the linebacker. Down to 3 seconds, and South calls a timeout.
Denver South, 3rd and final timeout.
Boy, Pete Mitchell with a great play that time for Monarch. Holy cow.
Boy, I wonder what they do here. I mean, again, maybe you take another shot at just staying with your identity. One of the Monarch players that we've got on our screen.
Duck and Chuck.
I love that look right there. You talk about a 10-yard fight. One of the Monarch logos is ripped off. Half the M is gone. Other part of the M is repositioned on the helmet. That's a guy that's in the trenches. But, yeah, do you throw here or do you stick with what you know, and that's running the football?
I think you duck. What do you got to lose, man? Let it all hang out here in the championship. Take a crack at it. tie to make it a 14-7 ball game. Monarch with that late touchdown. Here in this first half, they've got the advantage. Been a good ball game so far. Lower scoring. These defenses, I think, have played better than I thought they might come again. I thought these two teams might race up and down the field with the way they run the football, how effective they've been all season long. But defenses have been stout, and they've forced some turnovers in this game.
Yeah, they've both been up to the challenge, especially along the line. It has been rough in the trenches today.
Mosley is wide to the right. Chambers goes wide to the left on 2nd down and 9 for the 42. And now I think Monarch may be calling a timeout. They do.
Timeout, Monarch. 3rd and final timeout.
So the Coyotes want to talk it over here. Looking at a 2nd down, about 9.5 or so for Denver South from their own 42-yard line. So they got 58 yards to go here. But I think Coach Bravo wanted to get a look and see how they line up.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was a little like a basketball game. Who are you coming out with? And then I'm going to call and put my defensive personnel out there.
Let's see how they line up. They had 2 wide, 1 right, 1 left.
Not football related at all, but I'd love to get your opinion as a guy that does a lot of college basketball and spent some time around NBA teams. What do you think of the Spurs getting fined $250,000 for sending their guys home early, despite the fact that the NBA still feels like it's playing on that condensed schedule that they were on last year? Spurs have been on their 4th game in 5 nights. And
did you see George Karl's comments?
No, I did not. What do you think? I got to imagine he had Pop's back.
He said, well, I think he did. However, when he laid it, he kind of laid it out. He said, well, many were wondering if the coach is right. Many were wondering if David Stern is right. I'm not touching either of those questions, he said. Yeah, I think they're a veteran team down there. You got to let them do what they do a little bit, rest them a little bit. 2nd down and 9 for the 42. Tollerson, screen right side. He overthrows Williams out of the backfield. Actually threw it on that back shoulder, and Williams couldn't quite spin around and get there. Brings us to the end of the first half here at Sports Authority Field at Mile High.
Quickly, what happened there, Williams decided that the blocker was about to come into him. He was going to lose his pass angle, so he had to cut inside his guy, and that messed the play up.
We have got halftime here at Sports Authority Field at Mile High. It's a championship Saturday, a beautiful day in the Mile High City in this 4-8 title game. It's Monarch on top of Denver South, 14-7. Still to come about 2:30 this afternoon. The 5-8 crowd will be decided between Cherokee Trail and Valor. Thank you for joining us here at 850 KOA. Those watching as well on CHSAA.tv. Our halftime report is coming up next here. 14-7 Coyotes on top of the South Rebels here at Mile High Stadium. Timeout now. News Radio 850 KOA.
Answers. We start this second half, Mark. I think it's going to be a big first drive for South to stop Monarch when they get the ball back.
We will hit on more numbers later on at our halftime report. Right now, though, we can tell you Monarch rushing yards, $182, South with 166. Total yardage just about even in this ball game. Monarch has got about, a plus 3.5, almost 4 minute time of advantage in time of possession so far in this ball game. Nobody has put up. Well, let's see. I was going to say that, and then I looked down at Ethan Marks. Does have 117 yards rushing in the first half, along with the 1 touchdown. Pete Williams leads the way for South, 10 carries on 88 yards. He has not scored a touchdown, however, to this point. At the intermission, 14-7, 4A state championship. Monarch on top of Denver South. And he's going to come back. Neil Devlin's going to join us, the prep writer, fine prep writer for the Denver Post. That comes your way next as we continue from Sports Authority Field at Mile High. 14-7, Coyotes lead the Rebels here on 850 KOA.
Okay, do I need to go to news after this, or is there no news in halftime?
This is break. Yeah, is this break 5 right now? Okay.
I'll just lock out. How long you need me to go there, big boy? 2 minutes?
Let's see. Halftime, we got 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. We got 8. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. You can see here what we're doing.
So we got about 6 more minutes of breaks?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah. So we can do just about 2.5, 3 minutes with Neil, I guess. That'll do it, won't it?
Yeah, he's
Rich?
our last content segment. Tell Corey I don't need him until between games. So now is Neil live? Neil good? Say hello to me, Neil.
Hello.
All right, we got him. We're good to go.
Do I need to be worried about
And welcome back to Sports Authority Field at Mile High. I'm Andy Lindahl along with the fine Denver Post prep writer Neil Devlin. Man, I've been following you on Twitter. Before we get into this game, why don't you tell everybody your Twitter handle? I got to be honest with you. You guys at the Post, you were my scoreboard every Friday night for my prep coverage. You do a great job. Where can they find you on Twitter as basketball's gotten going?
hashtag Neil Devlin.
At Neil Devlin.
And yes, I'm the guy who does Yo Colon, and I get a bunch of crap for it, but I'm a Philly guy, and this is how we talk.
That's how you roll.
End of story.
You got to deal with it if you're going to follow Neil. That's just how it goes. Tell me your thoughts on this game. Mark asked me. I'm a little surprised that Monarch has gotten the lead, but I guess, it's only a 14-point lead. It feels to me like Monarch had the ball the entire second quarter.
Yeah, I mean, you still get the feeling, though, that South can compete up front with Monarch, and I think that was the key coming into the game. And for me, with teams like Monarch and their offensive approach, it's just like Columbine winning 5 times the last 13 years. If you're going to beat them, you have to make those guys play from behind. If they have the lead, you're in real trouble. However, South has shown it can move the ball, and I don't think it's close. I think they're a lot faster on the perimeter. But when you have 3 turnovers, I mean, that's just a problem for those guys. Now, what they need to do is just to keep sucking it up front, get the ball back, and then get into the end zone instead of throwing an interception or dropping after a reception.
Yeah, and South has got to quit committing the penalties that they've committed. One more final thought. Just give me a quick preview of what you think is going to happen with Valor and Cherokee Trail, and is there going to be political unrest if Valor wins that crown again today?
Without question, there will be political unrest, and it really bugs me because, I can't hate those kids, and I don't think anybody should or give them any crap or anything. Christian McCaffrey's a good boy. Luke Del Real's a good boy. Stanley Gilbert's a good boy. All those kids are good. They're minding their own business. They're playing good football. They're getting good grades. Just because they go to Valor Christian shouldn't be a problem. I really struggle with the private versus public thing here. It drives me nuts.
Well, we'll see. We don't want to count out Cherokee Trail. The kids have shown hard on that team all playoff long. Neil, we appreciate it. We want everyone to go read Neil in the Denver Post prep section. Go to denverpost.com to find Neil Devlin. And again, follow him on Twitter at Neil Devlin or at Denver Post Preps. We'll be right back. Get a check of news. Get you ready for the second half of this ball game as Denver South trails Monarch 14-7. Second half on the way here on 850 KOA.
did not play very sound.
Yo, man, what's the break situation?
I got to think a little bit of nerves, the weight of the whole thing.
2.5 left in this one.
Would calm down at halftime.
I think so. Yeah.
He seems to have a really good relationship with his players and stuff.
Thank God.
Wow.
They're going into the locker room.
I suppose we could do here.
We could just tell them. We have set left over. We can throw them in. We filled a lot of time out.
We can certainly listen if they yuck it up here. We got 2.5 away from a break, but he's saying we got 2 more segments and 2 more 2-minute breaks.
No, we don't.
Nope, we only got 3 minutes left on the clock. So we're going to come back here, and then we're going to be carrying 4 minutes. We can do that.
How much more time we got left?
We're coming back in like 2 minutes right now.
I'll do a quick turnaround to one more 60-second break.
Okay, he's going to do a super quick turnaround, 1 more 60-second break, then come back, and we'll carry 3, and we'll break every time they break. Okay, he's coming back with a scene set and a score. Super quick break. Play 1 more minute. Yeah, 1 more minute. Here's Mark.
All right, Rich. So you said we'll come back here in how much time? 1 minute. Okay. I will give you a quick turnaround. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll give you a quick turnaround. We can take 60, come back, start the third quarter. Yeah. Then how much are we gonna carry then? Well, that's fine. So that'll give us.
We'll be carrying 3, so we'll take those 3 extra breaks.
So we're going to have 3 minutes we've got to carry. Okay. Well, what we can do, we can just call. Remember, we filled about 3 or 4 timeouts during that first half. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Okay. I think that should work. I think we'll be okay. Yep. Andy's halftime here at Sports Authority Field at Mile High, 14-7. The Coyotes on top of the Denver South Rebels here at the intermission. Mark Johnson, Andy Lindahl, Reed Fisher back here at the Mile High Stadium. Passing numbers, you know there were going to be a lot in this game. Malik Tollerson has 3 of 6 passing for 27 yards. He's got the 1 interception. The problem for South has been way too many turnovers and way too many penalties in this ballgame. Meanwhile, Cole Watson's only thrown the 1 pass. He's 0 for 1 in this ballgame. Once again, 14-7 here at the intermission. Coyotes on top. They get the football to start the third quarter. That's coming up after this 60-second timeout here on News Radio 850 KOA.
I won't worry about grabbing a coach in the interest of time here.
All right.
I mean, but Monarch's not even on the field yet.
Yeah. They might tack on. They'll tack on a little bit more time, maybe.
Well, here comes Monarch's cheerleaders.
Grab one of them.
I don't think they can play, Reed. I don't think they're going to play.
I bet you can hypnotize them with your beard.
Yeah, here they come.
All right. And then, Andy, we're going to carry 3 minutes here in the second half, so let's take some 60-second breaks. Yep. Yep. Well, they've actually extended halftime here at the Sports Authority Field of Mile High. In fact, they've tacked 3 more minutes on the clock. Monarch Coyotes on the top of the Denver South Rebels, 14-7. Mark Johnson, Andy Lindahl, Reed Fisher down the sidelines here on News Radio 850 KOA. And those of you joining us watching on TV on the internet here on CHSAA.tv. Right, we got a little bit of time out there. Let's do about 60 seconds here. We can hit another commercial break before we get the second half underway. Second half, I guess from South's perspective, it's real easy. Start cleaning things up a little bit.
Yeah, quit killing yourselves. You know, they're doing well, I think, along the line of scrimmage. I don't think they're allowing a lot of gaping holes. Now, you can't allow a long drive, and I don't know what you do to not get fatigued, I guess, other than get them off the field in about 3 downs best you can, because when Monarch gets it going and they can extend drives, we saw at the end of that first half what it does to South. It wears them out.
Well, from Monarch's perspective, they have done a pretty good job playing clean football. I guess it's a carry it on.
Yeah, be who you are and who they are as a running team. You don't get frustrated. Coach Bravo trusted his team in some 4th and short situations, and it paid off with the 7-point lead here at the half.
Monarch is going to have the first possession to start the second half. They've done a good job taking care of the football so far. Like we said, for South, it's been turnovers. It's been too many penalties, but we've only got a 1-touchdown ball game. This 4A state championship game, 1 half to play for one of these two teams. Writes their name in the record book, 14-7. Coyotes on top of the Rebels. Go take another 60-second timeout here at the half. We'll come back. Third quarter straight ahead here on News Radio 850 KOA. That'll help us out there. Reed, you got anything you want to add coming out here? Taking it out of the break?
Yeah, sure, I can take it out of the break for you.
You take it out.
That guy's all right.
That guy. I like him. All right. Despite the beard, I like him. Yeah.
If we ever get the chance again, I'm buying you that Shakespeare's pizza.
Oh, there you go.
Not breakfast in L.A., but...
Now, you had to bring that up.
Good stuff. All right.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Class 4A State High School Championship game. Reed Fisher here on the field with Mark Johnson and Andy Lindahl. At halftime, it is Monarch 14, Denver South 7. Just getting set to start the third quarter here. And guys, you touched on it earlier. Monarch's going to have the ball to start the second half, and this is going to be a very big drive in this game. If Monarch has another drive like they had to end the second quarter, then this could end up being a very tall order for South to come back. Although the way that both defenses have played, well, you never know. So we'll see what happens here in the second half.
Well, and Reed makes a good point there, Andy. And you talked about in the first half, neither of these offenses are really set up to come back from a deep hole. So South doesn't come out and play well defensively here. Monarch puts more on the board. It may be a game, set, match here early on second half.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be a critical start to the second half. Although we see this quite often in championship football. That's what these games are about. And usually championship defenses rise to the occasion. We'll see if South has that in them. As far as Monarch goes, though, they could not have drawn up a better way for the half to end. And really, I don't know how you feel about it, Mark. I almost feel like Monarch is dominated from the start of the second quarter just because it feels like they've had the ball the entire time.
Well, we mentioned as we wrapped up that first half, after Denver South scored on its initial drive, they've gone fumble, interception, punt, fumble, and then, of course, the half was the last time they had the ball after a couple of snaps. For Monarch, they had an interception their opening drive, and then finally they stick in the end zone, about a 22-yard run for Sewell. And then they've had to punt the football. They had a turnover on downs, and then another touchdown, and then had that one possession there, of course, go to Denver South just before halftime. And so they'll get another crack at it here. Back deep return. Again, it's kind of a rotating group back there they use on the return for Monarch High School. South's going to kick this one off. Nice kick that time by Suma. And taking it, but drifting back into the end zone. But he did catch it in fair territory right across the 10, running right to the 13. And then hammered down. The ball came loose, but was he down? The return by Philip Burbanek. And they ruled that he was down when the whistle blew, and then the ball came out. Boy, that was awful close. On the return that time by Monarch.
Yeah, not a lot of argument, though, from the South players, so seems as though they knew that wasn't going to be their football.
Yep.
Yeah, and that elbow hit the ground.
Yeah, we got to look at the replay, and the knee and elbow went down about simultaneously, and then the ball came out. So let's see what Monarch does to start this third quarter here at Sports Authority Field a Mile High. Boy, the weather's been phenomenal today. Just gorgeous. Temperatures in the upper 50s, sunshine. Calm winds, been a spectacular afternoon. Good turnout here for the 4A game. Fans starting to roll in for the 5A contest. First down and 10 for the 13, moving left to right. Watson gives to the fullback straight ahead. Out across the 15, up near the 18-yard line. On the carry goes Pat that time for Monarch. Braden Papp, he's a junior. Picks up about 4, almost 4.5. Let's call it 2nd down and 6 now for the Coyotes.
Well, and it starts the way that it ended. And again, every time you think it's just not that big a deal, they got 4 or 5 yards. Doesn't look like much happened there, but they're putting themselves in a great position for 2nd down.
Double wing, 2nd down and 6 from the 17. Watson gives off to Ethan Marks again. He comes off right guard out across the 20. Weaving his way through defenders. French is there in the tackle up near the 24-yard line. That's enough for a 1st down. It's a gain of 7. And the sticks move for Monarch.
And again, just going off the sizes and weights, I really didn't think Monarch would be able to exploit the middle of the line, even though they said they could. And right now, Coach Bravo knew his team well. They continue to find pay dirt up the middle.
I've been impressed with Ethan Marks, the way he runs the football. Rather elusive. 1st down and 10 for the 24-yard line. Give the Marks again. This time he brings it right up the middle, up the right hash marks, out to just shy of the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 5 on 1st down. So once again, in football you talk about being on schedule. And every time on those opening downs, 4, 5, 6 yards for the Coyotes.
Allows them to stay in the run plays, and I'm telling you right now, it's not really a good omen if you're a South fan, in my opinion, because the D-line looks tired. They've been swallowed up by that offensive line. The white shirts have been advancing onto purple territory in those trenches.
Josh Hurst starting tackle is out. His helmet popped off. The 290-pounder is out. 2nd down and 5 for the 29. Give to Ethan Marks. He tries to stretch this one to the sidelines, turns a corner, takes a whale of a shot at the 34-yard line, knocked out of bounds near the 35. That should be enough, depending upon the spot here, for a 1st down. Looks like it is. And that time there was no hole there, partner. He just tried to continue to move that to the sideline and find something before he turned it up the field and picked up the 1st down.
Yeah, he found something, but you're right. That time everything was sealed in the middle, but still, got to get to him, got to get him down if you're one of those defensive backs for South. Get in there, make the play.
Zach Lindsey, linebacker there in the tackle for South. 1st down and 10 from the 34 after that 6-yard pickup. Give to the fullback, Papp. He took contact early, but somehow got out of the grasp of the South defender across the 35 to the 36. That's a short pickup of 3 yards.
These Monarch kids just do what they do. Even when the play doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere, they still find a way to advance it a little bit. At least that's the way it's been since the start of the 2nd quarter. And I think, again, right now, Monarch is starting to let South know what they're all about. Let's see if South has an answer.
Kid Sewell comes in off the sidelines. He lines up wing right, wing left as Ethan Marks, 2nd down and a long 7. Give to Marks again, coming off that left wing to the right side. And that time he has stood up at the line of scrimmage, maybe gained a yard. And a host of Rebels were there. Zach Lindsey, the linebacker, was there along with Johnny Coleman for the Rebels on the tackle. No gain on that player, a short one, if any.
Another player lost his helmet for Monarch, so he trots off the field. Going to take a quick rest. It's going to be Levi Ensign.
Make a 3rd down, I beg your pardon. Picked up about a yard and a half on that play. 2nd down, long 6, almost 7. From the 38-yard line, 9.5 to play in the 3rd quarter. Monarch trying to salt this game away. They got a 14-7 advantage. Watson under center. Pitch to Sewell off the right side. Sweeping the left. He's got all kinds of room and blockers at the 50. He's running at the 40. Cuts inside a defender. Johnson at the 30-yard line. And eventually knocked down at the 29.
Boy, you could see that setting up, couldn't you, Mark? Monarch did a great job of sealing the edge, getting their guys around, not letting any linebackers into the flats. And I'm a little surprised he was caught. Let's give some credit to Sean Johnson, who was the one that got over there and split between 2 of the blockers and made sure he got inside and got that back down. That looked like that was going to be the 3rd touchdown of the day for Monarch.
That was a 28-yard run that time by Kid Sewell. 1st down and 10 now inside South territory at the 28-yard line. 9:15 to play in the 3rd. 14-7 Monarch stacked high. Ethan Mark, the tail of the tandem there, pitch to Mark off the left side, and great penetration that time by South. No gain by Marks. He tries to go off left end. And he's taken down right there at the 28-yard line. All kinds of Rebels around him that time. Taylor Williams was there off his defensive end position.
I think Michael Barfield helped out as well.
Williams might have got himself a stinger. He got up. He's letting that right arm's kind of hanging. He's shaking it out there.
Yeah, he doesn't look like that thing feels right.
No.
Looks like that right arm is just not, and that's what happens. Again, we talked about it. It is a fight in the trenches, and he's feeling the effects right now.
2nd down and 10 for the 28-yard line. Give to Ethan Marks once again. He'll bring it right up the middle, and again he is hit hard, but he gains positive yardage to the 23. Make a 25-yard line. That's a 3-yard pickup. That time on 2nd down, so 3rd down and 7. Forthcoming here to tackle big A.J. Harris, a senior at 272 pounds.
Well, big down for South. Can they force them into at least a field goal attempt? You give up a couple 3 yards, they're going to think about going for it.
3rd down and 7 from the 25. Ball left hash mark. Give Ethan Marks left-hand side. Got away. No, he did not get away from Williams. Williams might not have been feeling that right arm, but he's feeling it now as he gets up and pumps his chest and brings down Marks for a gain of only a yard. Ball to 24. That brings up 4th down and 6. That'll make the right arm feel better.
Yeah. Numbing the right way right now.
4th down and 6 from the 24. That last scoring drive, they had a couple of 4th down conversions. They're going to try a field goal from this distance. This will be a 41-yard field goal by Jamie Falloon. He had a couple of 42-yarders this season already. 14-7 Coyotes. For the left hash, kicking left to right. Watson a hole, down to the right knee. Right hand extended, snap, put down. Swings the right leg. Nearly blocked. Kick is up. It's on its way, and it's good. A 41-yard field goal by Jamie Falloon. And we've got a 10-point game, 17-7. Coyotes extend their lead here at Sports Authority Field a Mile High in the 4A state championship game. 7:19 to play in this 3rd quarter. Boy, now South's got his work cut out for it. Let's go ahead and take a timeout here at Sports Authority Field. Coyotes in top of the Rebels, 17-7 on 850 KOA.
If you want. I can take it out of the break if you want.
Knock yourself out. Young man's got a pretty good leg on him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Man.
That had the distance. That would have been a 45er, not a little more. And that tough angle, too.
Yeah.
Be a couple. Maybe CU ought to look into that.
Nicely done. Well, they got Oliver for 2 more, but you can never have enough. What year is he? He's a senior.
Actually, I thought CU was going to say that Mason Crosby didn't have enough credits. He's coming back.
They're going to bring back the whole 1990 team.
There you go.
Yeah. Welcome back to Sports Authority Field at Mile High. A field goal there for Monarch. They now lead Denver South 17-7. 7:19 to go in the 3rd quarter. And guys, I think that's a victory of sorts for South to hold them to a field goal, still within striking distance at 10 points. And I think we're also going to see the pace of this game pick up as both teams run the ball a little bit more. Monarch took up more than a third of the quarter with that drive.
Yeah, that's right. We got 7:19 to play here in the 3rd. A 41-yard field goal by Jamie Falloon for the Coyotes. Impressive. Well, he's got a pretty good leg on him for a high school kicker. Back to return Mosley goes back along with Kerry and Chambers for Denver South. Problem is that Falloon's had such a great leg at kickoffs. Those guys haven't had much of a chance back there. High school, of course, they kick off for the 40-yard line, so Falloon's out there near hash mark, kicking left to right. He's teeing the football up. For the Coyotes and Monarchs still to come about 2:30 this afternoon, the 5A title game. Valor and Cherokee Trail. Should be a good one this afternoon as well. This one's been a fine football game. 17-7 Coyotes on top of the Rebels.
Last kickoff was an adventure as they just kind of popped it up. Remember, that's a live ball on the kickoff. Let's see if they don't try that again.
Falloon's got it teed up, gets his signal. Mosley and Chambers are back. He kicks away on this one, high and end over end. And it's into the end zone. Chambers takes it about 3 yards deep for the touchback. So far in this ballgame, first downs in favor of Monarch, 14-9. The total yardage now with that drive there. The Coyotes have, 48-27 snap advantage, 245 to 193 in total yardage. They've almost doubled up. In fact, they have doubled up. Denver South in time of possession, almost 19 minutes to just under 10. First down and 10 for the 20-yard line. Let's see what Malik Tollerson and company can do. They had their issues in the first half with an interception, couple of fumbles, and boy, they got the penalty bug there late in that opening half. First down and 10 for the 20. Baxter in the eye. Give to the tailback. That's Williams. Breaks the tackle, running at the 30. Bounces off a defender, still on his feet. First down carry out across the 35 to the 36, and that's a pickup of 16 yards. A bruising run by the senior Pete Williams and a first down for South.
Yeah, South. No need to hang their head right now. They had some good drives going, but again, as you mentioned, it was the penalty bug that really, really killed them. and then a couple of errant passes, but they've been able to move the ball at times. We'll see if their confidence is up.
Chambers goes wide left. Mosley goes wide to the right. Backs her in the eye. Williams at tail of the 10. Tollerson is under center on first down at 10 with the 36. Handoff Williams. Tries to stretch this play. Nice job defensively that time out there along the edge. Colin Hart continued to hold the block and just run that play wide. Jacob Stockebrand was there as well, making the stop. No gain. In fact, a loss of a yard on that play. Second down and 11 down for South.
South needs to gain at least 5 yards here, you would think. I'm not so sure they want to keep throwing the ball around. They haven't exactly broken a lot of receivers free or fooled Monarch when they've chosen to go to the air. So they need to find a run, I would think, and maybe rip off at least 5.
Second down, 11 from the 35. To throw, Tollerson looks, throws it out there. Ball in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Mosley. He went up in the air, took a whale of a shot from behind when he was still up in the air from Jeff Clary. Ball popped out of there, incomplete.
I think that's one as a quarterback. You just kind of apologize to your receiver as he comes back to the huddle. They're lucky that wasn't picked off after the hit square in the small of the back. That ball came free, and if the linebacker had his head up, he could have easily picked that ball off as it was basically thrown right back at him. But
that was Jake Stockebrand. He had a shot at it, still a couple of yards away.
Neither foot down, though. Clearly not a catch.
So third down and 11. 6:20 to play in the third. 17-7 Coyotes. Rebels with a football slot to the right, ball left hash mark. Tollerson play action. He sets to throw. Rifles it downfield. Air mills that one intended. On the post panel off the right side to Kerrigan Chambers. That brings up fourth down and 11. Double coverage downfield. Clary had him on the front end. And Kid Sewell at his safety position on the back end. So they had him bracketed. There was nowhere to go with that football.
South is going to reluctantly punt here. Late to get the punting unit on. But see, again, just good coverage there by Monarch. Not clearing receivers in the free and not really easy passes right now for South.
Jason Jacobs is out to punt this one away. Number 2. He stands at the 22-yard line up to the right. Monarch set to return. There's the snap. Jacobs puts the right foot to it. High and end over end. Fair catch signal is made. And the ball shanked to the near sideline. So Kid Sewell out there was just playing decoy. That one bounces inside the 40. Let's see where they spot that one down. It's at the 28-yard line.
Well, he fooled him.
TV timeout.
We got a timeout in the field. We'll take it as well. So 17-7 Monarch with a field goal and a punt to follow by Denver South. It's a 10-point lead for the Coyotes. Timeout here at Sports Authority Field in this 4A state championship on 850 KOA.
I can take this one out, guys.
All right. So what we've ostensibly done here, Rich, we've burned all that 3 we carried, so now we can just go back to the regular format, right?
Or do we have one more?
Well, back to the regular format, which means we've got a 60-second break here in the third, yeah.
Wow.
So, but we've taken care of the 3 we carried, correct? I don't think that's right, Rich. We had 3 minutes. You told me we had 3 minutes. We took 1 at the halftime. We've taken 2 60-second timeouts since then. Correct.
1 was scheduled for this quarter.
Yes, but that's break 9. That's going back to the regular format then, correct?
Yeah. Welcome back to the Class 4A championship game here at Sports Authority Field at Mile High. 17-7 lead for Monarch over Denver South. 6:06 left here in the third quarter. Reed Fisher here on the field. Mark Johnson and Andy Lindahl up in the booth. And guys, I agree with Coach Lindsay's decision to punt there, as Denver South able to pin them back there inside the 30-yard line. I think if Denver South can come up with a big stop here, they are very much in this game, guys.
Yeah, but again, with that offense, the style of offenses here, yeah, you're right. You don't want them to get any further ahead because, well, then you got yourself in a real deep hole. Already down 10. Oh, the Rebels first down at 10 now for Monarch. 6:06 to play in the third. Kid Sewell, wing right, sweeping left, got room. He's got a couple to beat, running at the 40, 45, 50. Trenches there, hits him at the 45, and he just squirts him out of bounds. Nice run on that sweep to the left on first down. That's a 23-yard pickup and a new set of downs for Monarch, and that's not what South was looking for.
No, not at all. And now it's clear that Monarchs decided they're going to test the edge of that defense. They see the DBs are getting a little slow to get over and make contact with the running back. So after pounding the middle most of the last quarter and first couple minutes of this one, they're now trying the outside again, and they found success.
5:58 to play in the third. 17-7 Monarch. Coyotes with the first down at 10. From the South 41-yard line. Give to the fullback, Pap. Right up the middle he goes, and the pile moves along with him down to the 36-yard line. That's a gain of 5 on first down. Second down and 5 now for the Coyotes. Tackle coming up and making the stop that time for Denver South was Shaquille Moore.
Yeah, and right now, South has some tired guys out there, and more of their D linemen are picking themselves up off the ground after the plays are over, and that was not happening in the first half. That's a sign of fatigue. Not good if you're trying to stave off another score for Monarch.
Second down and 5 from the 36-yard line. Moving left to right, ball left hash mark. Double wing formation. Pap is the fullback. Marks and Sewell. Sewell comes out of his stance, pitch to him, tries to sweep the boundary side left, chase down, good backside pursuit that time by Denver South. Short gain. Shaq Moore was there again on the tackle. They'll spot that one at the 33-yard line. That's a gain of about 2.5, almost 3 yards. So let's make a third down and roughly 2 now from the 33-yard line for the Monarch Coyotes.
You have a feeling this is 4-down territory for Monarch regardless, don't you?
Well, yeah, but then they've got Falloon. I mean, the kicker's got a heck of a leg. I mean, they'd be just outside of his longest of the season, but they're nearly there. Third down and 2. Pitch to Kid Sewell left side. They got the first down. It's a moot point, and there's a flag in the play. Sewell down to the 25. He is grabbed and hauled down by Orlando Mosley.
You thinking a hold on this play?
His head count, it wasn't a face mask, was it? No, it is a hold. Hold against Monarch is indication. Just when he went down, the head went down quickly. I thought maybe somebody grabbed the face mask and yanked him down.
Yeah, and that was a late flag that came in after the run was nearly completed. So the umpire noticed that late.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard spot of the foul. Replay third down.
All right, so they go for third down and 2 from the 33. They move it back to 43-yard line. So it happened right at the line of scrimmage. So third down and 12 now. A little bit tougher set of circumstances now for the Coyotes. 17-7 Monarch advantage for the football. Third down and 12 for the 43. Ball left hash mark. Wing each side. There's the give to Sewell. Comes off left guard, runs into the back of one of his offensive linemen and just pushes the big fella along with the guy he's locked up on down to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of almost 4 yards on that play. That'll make it fourth down. Long 8, short 9.
Does not look like Monarch plans to kick either. Ball at the 40-yard line, right on the hash mark of the 40-yard line, and there have been no new personnel to report to the huddle, so that tells me they're going for it.
Partner, I tell you what, the way they've been playing defensively against South, this will be 4-down territory for them. They're outside of the kicking range.
Maybe get a penalty that gives you the first down, if nothing else.
Fourth down and 9 for the 40-yard line. Inside 4 minutes to play. Ethan Mark shifts in motion. Now goes back wing left. Under center is Watson. Now he stands up, looks to the far sideline of Coach Bravo. Long look over there. And now a whistle and a timeout.
Timeout. Monarch. First timeout of the half.
We'll go ahead and take the timeout as well. 3:43 to play in the third. Monarch with the football facing a 4th and 9 from the Rebels 40. 17-7 Coyotes on top of the Rebels. Timeout here on News Radio 850 KOA. All right.
Want me to take it out again?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Dazzle me down there.
All right. Yeah. Welcome back. We got a 17-7 lead, Monarch over Denver South. 3:34 remaining here in the third quarter, and Mark and Andy up in the booth. I think this is going to be a huge play in this game. You got a 4th and 9. I think Monarch is in the area of the field where you're too far away to kick the field goal. It'd be a 57-yard try, which is hard for a lot of pro kickers, but you're not really close enough that you really want to go for it. So it's an interesting decision here for Monarch, but I think going forward, the way their defense is playing, probably the right call here.
Yeah, I think out of the circumstances, looks like their offense is out there on head coach Bravo for the Coyotes, and here they come.
Do they have a punter?
They do have a punter, yes.
Are we sure? Are you sure?
Have
you seen visual evidence that there's a punter down there?
Jeff Clay, did he punt earlier in the ballgame?
I don't remember.
4th down and 9 for the 40-yard line. Moving left to right. Kit Sewell in motion. They pitch it to him. He wants to throw. He's got pressure from behind. Whips it downfield. And it is picked off at the 20, but knocked away. Ball loose. Picked up by Sean Johnson. Now play is ruled dead. Cameron French had the ball hit him in the hands. He took a shot from behind by Ethan Marks. Ball came out. So they call that not a catch, just a knockdown.
And it works out for South because they would have lost yardage compared to where the dead ball spot is now after missing that 4th down opportunity.
Let's go down to Reed Fisher down the sidelines.
Well, guys, an interesting play call there. I'm surprised they picked that play to bust out the trickery. And like Andy said, Denver South is actually better off that they did not intercept that pass because they would have lost yards. So that's a big stop for South. We'll see if they can get a drive going now offensively.
We just got to look at the replay. I think that was an interception. I think he came down and started to take a step, but he got hit from behind. That ball came out. And from South perspective, yes, under that circumstance, remember Sean Johnson picked the ball up. He was returning the ball, and they blew it dead. First down to 10 for the 40-yard line. Give to the tailback. Williams sidesteps the defender at the 45, across the 47, out to the 49-yard line inside Coyote territory. Nice 11-yard gain on first down for the Rebels.
And we're sensing some life from the South stands, not the South stands here at Invesco, but the South rooting stands here that are just below us. You can sense some energy.
Maybe the West stands.
Right. They have not the South stands and the West stands. The South standers and the West stands.
Something like that.
Either way, there's more energy coming from that area of the building than we had all game long.
First down and 10 now from the Monarch 49-yard line. 3:10 to play in the third. 17-7 Coyotes. Rebels with it. Give tailback. Pete Williams. He breaks one tackle at the 47. Spins his way inside the 45. Down to the 43-yard line. Gain of almost 5.5, almost 6 yards on that play. Third down. About 4 to go, in fact. I beg your pardon, second down, about 4 to go now for the Rebels. Glad you could join us in this championship Saturday. Love bringing it to you every year here at 850 KOA, and also something new this year. You can also watch us on your smartphone, your iPad or tablet, your home computer on CHSAA.tv, CHSAA.tv. And the feedback so far has been good, although they've asked to see less of you.
Jacob Stockebrand is down. The linebacker got up. He's got a sore ankle down there on the field. I'm going to ignore you because your bulbous head is so big, nobody can see me. What does it matter?
Yeah, we got a player down out there right now. So both teams getting water from the sidelines. 2:46 to play here in the third. Don't forget tonight we've got 19th ranked Colorado basketball up in Laramie against the Cowboys. We'll hit the air at 7:05 tonight. Buffs warm up 7:30 to Stampede. And then just after 8 o'clock, Colorado and undefeated Wyoming up in Laramie. One of the few places the Buffs are going in the country they've actually had to climb an elevation to play. Down to the sidelines we go. Here's Reed Fisher.
All right, guys. I'm curious to see what the field condition is going to look like at the end of the 5A game. We'll get more after this play.
All right, here's the snap. Giving out the task to the big running back. He's got a head of steam. Runs over the top of a defender at the 33. And the big fella rumbles inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line. He destroyed a defender out there. Did Javante Tasco for the Rebels of Denver South.
Before we go back down to Reed, you do not want to be standing still when he gets ahead of steam, and that's exactly what happened. It's almost unfair to ask that guy to tackle him.
I'm not against that. That player that just got ran over will remain nameless out there. First down at 10 for the 27. Give to the tailback. Big fella again. Running off left guard. Bounces off a defender. Steps out of another one at the 20. At the 15. And there's a gang tackle at the 10-yard line. He picks up a head of steam, and at 267 pounds, he will not be brought down. That's a 17-yard gain on that time. And about, by the way, 16.5 was after contact.
He doesn't care what jersey you're wearing. He's running you over. He's knocked down one of his linemen on every play. Not a lot of cuts happening out there.
First down at 10, or goal to go for the 10-yard line. Give to Williams. He stretches this one to the right. Gets hit down around the knees by Jeff Clary. And he is taken down after a 3-yard pickup at the 7-yard line. Second down, a goal to go.
You know what? And credit that time Williams for getting outside and then giving Carey and Chambers a chance to get an angle to get out there and throw a block for him. And then Chambers had the wherewithal, the mental stability not to throw a block in the back once he realized he wasn't going to get the angle.
Trevante Tasker, the earth mover, coming back off the sidelines. After a couple of runs, he needed a blow. He's got his breath. He's back out there. Second down, a goal to go for the 7-yard line. 17-7 Coyotes. Rebels threatening here. Give to Tasco. Right side, he sidesteps the defender, runs over another one, and the second wave finally brings him down inside the 5 of the 4. That's a pickup of 3 there. It'll be third down, a goal to go from just inside the 4-yard line. That kid, you know they say guy's a load? That's an understatement in regards to him.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow.
He's a whole horse trailer.
1:07 to play in the third, clock running. 17-7 Coyotes. Rebels again. Big fella, though, doesn't have a lot of endurance. He was out there with hands on his knees. Goal to go on third down for the 4. Give fullback right up the middle. Lindsey, and he got ankle tackled. Coming up was Petey Mitchell making the stop for Monarch. Gain of maybe a yard on that play. It'll be fourth down, goal to go from about the 3-yard line.
That didn't look right from the start that time. That was a case where Tollerson had the ball. He gave it. I think he wanted to fake to the fullback. It's like the fullback took it from him. He had the big fella just staring at him. Tollerson must have known what was going on because he wasn't coming towards him.
Here we go. 17-7 out. Timeout is called by Denver South.
Yeah, this is one you got to talk over. This is the most important play of the game. 34 seconds left to go in the third quarter. This play may determine how much excitement we have in the fourth quarter.
Yep, 17-7 is their score. Down to the sidelines we go, and Reed Fisher.
Guys, South called that timeout. It looked like some of the players were confused as to what the play call was going to be. Several of them were motioning over to the coaches for the play again. But a very good timeout for South to make sure you get it right. This is a very critical play in the game.
Still to come, we've got the 5A state championship here at 850 KOA and CHSAA.TV today. Andy Lindahl, I got to take off for basketball. Corey Lopez is going to join Andy and Reed. And so that one gets underway about 2:30 this afternoon. When this one wraps up, we've got the trophy presentation. And a good one coming up in that 5A game. You looking forward to that one?
Yeah, I am. I think Cherokee Trail is going to put up a good fight. I'm curious to see what Valor can bring. I mean, they've been a powerhouse. I haven't been able to watch the games. I've been on the air with the Primetime Sports from 7 to 10 every Friday, but we get prep reports, and everybody's talked about how impressed they are with Valor.
Here we go. Fourth down, a goal to go from the 3-yard line. 34 seconds remaining in the third. 17-7. Give it to the big fella, Tasco. He tries to sidestep, continues to turn the legs down to the end zone. Haven't gotten a signal, have we? Nothing yet. Monarch celebrating. It looks like Tasco is short, which would be a turnover on downs.
I was going to say the far side judge just pointed down and said that's where the knee landed, and it looks like they're going to confirm it. That is huge.
Wow, is that a big one? Monarch will take over down to the sideline. Reed, you had a bird's eye view of that one down there, didn't you?
I did. I was standing behind the end zone. To me, it looked like the ball crossed the goal line. And as you know, the ball just has to hit any part of that white line, and it would be a touchdown. From my vantage point, it looked like he got the ball across. The question, though, was his knee down in the field of play before he got the ball across the goal line? The South crowd does not like it as they show the replay on the Jumbotron.
Well, you're seeing that, and I tell you what, I don't like it much. I've said it appeared as if when he went down, the ball went across, then the knee went down. That might have been a touchdown. Now we got a flag in the field.
Yeah, this is going to go against South's bench, and that's South is making this even worse. They've got them literally on the goal line. You could get a safety. This is going to push them out 15 yards and take them out of the dire position you just put them in. And I will say this, folks. When you watch the replay, yes, it looks like the hands should have gone up for a touchdown. But I will tell you, in high school football, you see it over and over again. They stay more true to the knee going down.
At the end of the play, sportsmanlike conduct. You got defense.
That is going to push it out to the 15-yard line when they literally had them inside the one with the nose of the ball smelling the goal line.
Well,
That's a huge mistake.
That's a big mistake right there. Big discipline mistake right there, because as you talked about, they had him down literally with the nose almost on the goal line down there. Who knows what could have happened? Maybe getting a safety and a couple of points and the ball back, but because of the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, ball is moved out just beyond the 15-yard line now with 27 seconds remaining in the third. I think Tasco was in, but that was not the call on the field. Double wing formation. Watson gives off Kid Sewell running left side. He gets hit and brought down a 2-yard pickup there as he came off the left end.
I'm not saying that the call is right, but you and I have done a number of these games where we see that knee position seems to be honored more than the forward progress of the football.
Yep. I'm with you. Second down. About 8.5, in fact. It's been spotted inside the 17-yard line. And that'll bring us to the end of quarter number 3. Now emotions running high here at Sports Authority Field a mile high, but Denver South's got to get over that. They got a football game to play. 1 quarter remaining in the season. Right now, Coyotes and Monarch have got the football, and they're on top 17-7. Fourth quarter straight ahead here on News Radio 850 KOA.
I can take it out here.
All right. Let's see. This is break number 10. All right. Well, let's kind of play it by ear and see where we're at in terms of the game. I can call for one if we have to. Just let's stay in communication here to the end of the break. He was in.
Yeah,
I agree with you. That should have been a touchdown.
And that was. I think that was a catch and a fumble out there too when Johnson picked it up. It hit him in the hands. He came down, took a step, and then he got hit.
But from where I was standing, there was no question. He got that ball across the goal line.
Yep. And the thing is down in this one here, Johnson's picked it up coming this way. He might have taken it all the way. There wasn't anybody near him.
I'm going to tell you guys, though, they watch the knee more in high school than they do in the pros. It's almost like guys are not watching where the football is. They're watching where the knee is down.
Mark, I'll let you take this one. It looks like they're going to run a play here.
All right, how long, Rich, till we come back? Holy cow. Well, the TV guy's still out there. They're not snapping it yet.
Yeah, South is ready. They just want to get this going again. But
yeah, we're okay right now.
He's not even in his 30s sign.
No, I think we'll be fine. He's not even moving.
They just went to 30, so they still got 30.
How much time we got, Rich? I think we'll be okay. We'll be okay. You got much of a line in the back end of this thing? Yeah, if you can. They just got the signal to go back. Oh, goodness. Ethan Marks running. Okay, we're all right. Second down, the give for the Monarch Coyotes as we get this fourth quarter on the way. Just a couple of yard pickup by Ethan Marks. That'll make it third down and 8. Now, his ball spotted just outside the 18-yard line. 11:35 to play. Boy, South continues to be emotional about that touchdown that was by Trevante Tasco on the other end of the field.
Make it a positive emotion, though.
Yep. Third down and 8 for the 18. Backs in the stacked on. Pitch behind him. Ethan Marks tries to step out of a tackle, but he's stumbling out across the 21 to the 22-yard line. That's where he goes down. Gain of 4 on that play. Tackle made that time by Darian Childs.
And again, no punter reporting to the huddle. Now they come. Boy, Bravo. Coach Bravo was thinking about it.
They're going to send Jeff Clary out to punt this one away. They had to. Boy, they're looking at a fourth down and 4 from the 22. So Monarch going to punt this one away. Back is Cameron French to return. He stands at the 45-yard line up to our left. Clary calling for one more guy. Late man coming up the sideline. I've got it. They can delay a game. Or they get a timeout time.
Timeout, Monarch.
All right, Coach Bravo to call timeout with a player coming in off the sideline late. Late man to get there, in fact, was Zach Hilliard. Tight end ran out there just as the Play clock was running down. Here's some third quarter numbers for you real quick. Overall in this ballgame, it's been an even contest for the most part. 288 yards in the ball game for Monarch, all of them on the ground. 267, all but 27 on the ground for Denver South. First downs, 16-13 in favor of Monarch in the contest. Time of possession, though, Monarch has really dominated. Partner in that category, considering they both run the ball heavily. But Monarch about 22 minutes to 14, so about, what, a 8-minute differential there. .10:42 to play in the fourth.
Do you think we see any trickery here? I don't know that I trust Coach Bravo really wants to punt the football today. I think that's part of the reason why we had to get in late. He was like, what, we're punting? I don't even remember where I am on the punt unit, Coach. Where do I go stand? All right, timeout.
Well, they're coming out of the timeout. Let's find out. Clary is back, standing around the 10-yard line off to our right to kick it away. Cameron French, she drifts back across the 50 at the 45. Sunshine raining down here at Sports Authority Field. 17-7 Coyotes on top of the South Rebels. Clary's going to punt away. Not much pressure, not terribly deep. Shanks that one to the right, not a bounce. I don't think we've seen a clean punt so far in this ball game. Where do they spot this one out the far sideline? Somewhere around the 40. They continue to walk down that sideline. And it's like going to spot it out the 40-yard line, right at the 40. So South, all things considered, ends up with great field position. Let's take another timeout. 10:35 to play in the fourth. 17-7 Coyotes. But the Rebels have got the football now with a bit of momentum on their side with great field position. 1st and 10 at the 40 timeouts on News Radio 850 KOA.
I can take it out of this one.
You certainly can. That's your last timeout right now, right? All right. No, I think we're good.
Man, they're still talking to the officials on the south sidelines. You gotta quit watching the replay, Coach. I understand why he's upset. That's going to become real interesting now, isn't it? If South gets a touchdown here, you're set up for some real controversy. But, I mean, now look at the result here. You cannot get that 15-yard penalty. You just can't do it. Got to keep your head.
Yep.
Get how angry you are. I understand it fully.
Yep. All right, Reed, you got it?
Yeah. Welcome back to the Class 4A state championship game. It is a 17-7 lead for Monarch over Denver South. Time winding down here, 10:35 to go fourth quarter. And guys, Mark and Andy up in the booth, this is definitely going to be a critical drive here for Denver South. I think they're still in this game, but it seems to go without saying they need to get a touchdown on this drive.
Well, Reed and Andy making the point during the timeout as well that South got that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. What hell, they got the ball at the 40. Marking back 15 yards here at the 25 here. First down at 10. Townerson to throw. Looks left, looks right, hit from behind, and sacked back at the 42-yard line. Great job defensively. Coming in off the edge and making the tackle, Darian Sanders.
Well, I can't blame Tollerson for not wanting to throw the football. He had zone coverage on his receiver. That ball was going to have to be perfectly placed. He had a cornerback waiting to make that a 1-and-1 jump ball again, but there's just not a lot happening with this passing game today.
Loss of a yard, 2nd down and 11 from the 41-yard line. 17-7 Monarch. South with a give to the tailback. Tasker, the big fella, breaks a tackle at the 30. Running at the 25, gets hit high and low, and he's twisted down at the 23-yard line. That's a gain of 18 yards. That big fella has been effective here in the second half for Tony Lindsay and the South Rebels.
Former Bronco offensive line coach Alex Gibbs would love him because there is no east and west. It's just north.
Yep.
Pure north.
That young man takes a handoff and he's heading one direction. First down at 10 now for the 23. Give again to Tasco. This time he cuts to his right, finds a seam, running at the 15, runs over the defender at the 10-yard line, hits Kent Sewell and knocks him down, but the ball carrier goes down at the 9-yard line. He gets up limping as he hops off the field with an injured right ankle.
Yeah, he's definitely a little bit ginger. Got that one twisted. Now, he reminds me of Gerard Bunch. Remember him?
Yep.
The big back from the New York Giants. He's winding that arm up, waiting to give you as much punishment as you think you're going to give him.
13 yards. Yeah, they looked like Kid Sewell was kind of cringing at having to bring him down. First down, a goal to go for the 10-yard line. Williams back out there, tailback. He takes the handoff, cuts off right guard. He's hit from behind, down at the 6-yard line. Making the tackle that time, James Hattle. For the Coyotes, substitution up front. New big body coming in. Josh Hurst goes back to the lineup, changing that defensive front. Running out of the contest, Cody Powers. Second down, a goal from the 6-yard line.
Powers looked like he got dinged after that play, Mark. He was down on the ground an extra couple seconds before hopping up. Maybe that's the reason for the substitution.
17-7 Coyotes. Second down, goal to go from the 6. Inside 9 minutes to play in the 4A state championship game. Tollerson, play action, gives on the end around. Carrying Chambers. He's got a man that spied on him. Who hits him at the 13? There's a flag in the play, turns, and he's hammered down at the 13-yard line by Jeff Clary. They tried the end around, but Monarch did a great job of seeing it coming. Let's see what the flag is all about.
I think it's going to be holding on the receiver out in the flats.
Loss of 6 on that play.
You can't ask those receivers, especially in that bad position, to keep a hold of him outside. He thought he was going to keep coming to that sideline. He was trying to push his defender inside, and then when the receiver cut up inside the lane here, that's where the holding occurs right
holding
there. So
the offense, 10 yards from the end of the run, we play second down.
You know, give credit to Jake Hummel on that one. He was the spy that time, and he followed carrying Chambers across, and he's the one that blew that play up, kind of turned it back inside a little bit. They moved the ball all the way back to the 19-yard line. So second down and goal to go for the 19. 8:43 to play. South down by 10. Boots out to the right. Tollerson whips it downfield. Leaping grabber in along with the hands at the 10-yard line. Zach Lindsay had that one go right through the midst. Now, he had defenders down inside the 5, but he certainly would have made it a much more manageable third down for South.
It would have been third and realistic. Tollerson hollering at his back. Got to be careful about that.
Well, that was one of the cases of you're turning upfield before you look that ball in your hands. By the way, Trevante Tasco was back out there. He came out a little while ago. It might have just been a cramp of the calf or something. He slid down the sideline when he got over here. I think got stretched out.
Timeout, Denver South.
All right. Tony Lindsay and company, they're going to talk it over. 8:36 to play in the entire ball game in this 4A state championship. Coyotes have the lead by 10, 17-7. The Rebels looking at a third down, a goal to go for the 19. Let's go down to the sidelines of Reed Fisher.
Well, guys, you were talking earlier about the penalties in this game, and again, it seems to be a broken record, but it seems like Denver South has had several opportunities that they've made themselves tougher by some penalties, and we're looking again here at another 3rd and 13.
By the way, Tasco just came out. He's still limping a little bit. And Pete Williams went back in the field for Denver South. They bring him out. They're stretching out. Yeah, it's that right calf. They've got him on his back and stretching out that lower leg of the big guy. 8:36 to play in the fourth. 10-point lead for the Coyotes. Third down and goal for the 19. If you're South and you don't get, this is 4-down territory here because you don't get into the end zone, Monarch's going to run the rest of the game out. One setback, Tollerson, play action, sets to throw. Rushes to the near side, gets away from the defender, throws it outfield, leaping Graham, tight end catch at the 7-yard line, down to the 5. He's gang tackled. That'll make it 4th down and goal to go for the 5-yard line. Matisse Moore, who had a fumble early in his ball game, makes a leaping grab with the right flat.
Tasco wants back in. Tasco's yelling at his coach, just slammed his helmet on his head. He wants in, and I think he wants the ball.
Boy, that big 6'4" tight end made a nice catch in traffic down there before he was grabbed by Petey Mitchell. So 4th down and goal to go for the 5-yard line. That's a 14-yard pickup on 3rd down.
Do you not think about the field goal here? I mean, you're down 7.
I'm just, like I said, I'm just afraid at this point that.
Well, it doesn't matter whether it's a 7 or a 4-point,
That's a good point. Maybe they don't have, the high school game many times. Unlike Monarch, there's a quick snap. Tollerson boots to his left. He's got room to run. Whips in the end zone, and Lindsay can't get there. Tollerson, I think, had room. He might have made it to the front pylon on the left side, but he tried a little shovel pass. And it's incomplete.
The South coaches wanted a timeout. They were out on the field in the middle of that play, and now we've got a coach yelling at an official again. I mean, I don't know how they didn't get the timeout. South wanted the timeout before the play was snapped. As a matter of fact, I thought they were awarded it. This side judge and the South bench are not going to have a good relationship. I hope for him they don't end up in the middle of the field where he's getting yelled at in the middle of that bench.
Let's go down to Reed Fisher on the sidelines.
Well, on that play, guys, the quarterback there, Tollerson, he's really mobile. He can run out, but he had the tight end, Matisse Moore, wide open in the back of the end zone. He was calling for the ball there on that play.
Yep, and he decided to go to Lindsey, who had Jalen Alexander right on him. Threw it out in front of him. Lindsey couldn't get there, incomplete. And I still think Tollerson, with his wheels, might have made it to that front left pylon if he just would have tucked it, made a beeline for the corner. But ends up being a turnover on downs. And so Monarch has it first down at 10 from the 5-yard line. Total yardage so far, South actually with an advantage now, 301 to 293. Monarch has snapped the ball 12 more times. Rushing yards, 293 for Monarch, 274 for Denver South. Matters about a 7-minute time of possession advantage by the Coyotes.
You are getting to the point where South is going to need a turnover, but you've got members, and I don't know who's coaches and who aren't, and so on and so forth. They're not identified, but you've got South personnel on the sideline screaming at this deep official again here that's along the South sideline in the boundary, and they better be careful not to get another unsportsmanlike call. But again, unfortunately in both cases you can kind of see what they're upset about. I don't know how the South coaches could have got any closer to the official if they were screaming for a timeout, but this one's going to be talked about at South High School for a while.
7:39 to play in the ball game with this 4A state championship. As soon as it's over here in a little while, we'll have the trophy presentation. Reed Fisher down the sidelines. He'll grab the victorious coach. That'll be either Coach Bravo for Monarch, or if Rebels can make themselves a comeback here in the last 7.5 minutes, Coach Lindsey for Denver South. Right now, though, South's got to get a turnover.
I don't want to ignore the effort by Monarch either. It seems like all the drama is happening on the South side. Don't want to overtalk the South storyline here, but I mentioned earlier, start of the second half, championship defenses show up and show you what they've got. Well, fairness, Monarch's done that so far with 2 stops inside the 5, holding South scoreless, although one of them technically could be contested.
First down at 10 for the 5-yard line. Moving right to left pitch. Ethan Marsh gets hit in the backfield, slides away across the 5 up to the 7. So 2 yards on that play. Taylor Williams was in the backfield. He made a contact and eventually knocked the ball carrier down. Second down at 8 for the 7-yard line. Clock running. That's the bad news for Denver South. 7:20, 7:19 this fourth quarter. And Monarch is in no hurry whatsoever right now. They are going to just milk this thing for all it's worth. Late substitution. In fact, Glazier, the fullback, out. He runs off the field. It's 5 seconds on a play clock. They run up there. Stacked on. Marks, Taylor the tandem. Watson pitches to him. Right up the middle he goes. Finds a bit of a seam. Gets hit by French at the 15. And they pirouette out to the 17-yard line. That's a first down for Monarch.
French saved the touchdown there. That cutback was happening. If he doesn't grab on for dear life, that's it. As you said, almost looked like a scarf in the wind there for a second, but had enough of the jersey to haul him down.
So first down at 10 now for the Coyotes. Clock running inside 7 minutes. We're at 6:47 now. 17-7 Coyotes. Again, that stacked eye. Marks the tail of the tandem, gets the pitch, brings it up inside. Same play, same situation, same result. French, the last guy there at the safety position, hugs him and brings him down at the 28-yard line, and another first down. 11-yard pickup that time. Well, that was deja vu all over again. Exact same play. 6.5 to play now.
It's been deja vu all afternoon, hasn't it?
Now, these two had not a whole lot of variety in this thing. Later on, of course, Cherokee Trail, they run the ball a lot, but you got Jack Del Rio's son, quarterback for Valor. They'll whip it around a little bit. First to McCaffrey. There's a give to the fullback, Pap. And he's got nothing there. He gets stood up and really cracked by Lee Childs. Maybe a half a yard gain on that play.
Yeah, whereas earlier you had the South defenders maybe ignoring that fullback and missing him when he had the ball. They all saw that handoff cleanly, and they swarmed to him.
5:55 and counting down the fourth quarter. 17-7 Coyotes. And again, they're milking the clock. Late man off the sideline bringing into play. Can't be a whole lot of variation there. Let's see. Give to the fullback. Give to Marks.
I'm telling you, South right now, if they're going to get back in, it may need a turnover, pick six, something like that.
2nd down and 9. Pitch to Marks. Late pitch. Taylor Williams is right there. A nice job by Marks continuing forward. And eventually he's hit and run down by Dejon Oliver.
Yeah, I said pick six. That won't happen.
No,
maybe a strip and go,
no.
scoop and run, because they're not throwing the football the rest of this game. We do know that.
Gain of a couple more. 3rd down and 7 now from the 31. Reed Fisher on the sidelines.
Well, just to pick up on Andy's comment, I think the South defense is aware that they need a turnover here. On every run play here, they are definitely making a cognizant effort to try to strip the ball and try to force a fumble.
Breaking the huddle with 11 seconds on the play clock. 3rd down and 7 from the 31. Back to the double wing. Pitch to Marks off the left side. Comes off right guard. It gets hit down low by Sean Johnson. He is cut down, a gain of a yard, maybe a yard and a half. That'll bring up 4th down and about 6 now. Long 5 maybe. And here comes the punting unit now for the Monarch Coyotes. Clary comes out. He'll boot this one away. Cameron French, head hung, walking back across the 45, set to return. 4:32 to play. But again, what did the Monarch do? Partner, they burned about 3 minutes there.
Yeah.
Almost 4, in fact.
And it's going to make it awfully tough for a team that has not had any success throwing the football today to try to come back. There's a one-hopper.
Yep, and they got a piece of it. Ball drops, though, and takes a South bounce. It got touched by South and picked up by Monarch, or they down the ball.
Well, there was a partial block, so that keeps the possession with South.
That's right, so South has got it. Good call. I think getting in there and getting a hand on that was Sam Maybunny. Number 55 got a hand on the kick. So it's down at the 43-yard line.
Now, that being said, I don't know why the young man even went after the football, with all due respect.
Trying to make a play.
Yeah, It's too late now. Just let it go.
Jake Hummel eventually came up with it for Monarch, but as soon as it was a touchdown field by Sean Johnson, that's where it's down for Denver South. So 4:10 to play. Yep, Maybunny's the one that got a hand on it. 1st down and 10 for the 43. 17-7 Monarch. Pitch. Tasco. Stretch play right side. Big guy. Turns the corner. 50. Steps out of a tackle. Near sideline. Hit down low by Kid Sewell at the 44-yard line. Nice run that time of 13 yards. And that big guy has been effective here in the second half.
This has been Tasco's corner, but now what do we have a booing for? What?
Please reset the game clock to 4:08.
There you go.
4:08 on the game clock.
Tasco went out of bounds. The clock did not stop in accordance.
All right. Tasco limps his way to the sideline. Pete Williams goes back out there at the tailback position. 4:08 to play then. 1st down and 10 for the 44. Inside Monarch territory. Again, it's a 10-point game, 17-7. Time running out on the Rebels. Slot to the left, ball right hash mark. Tight end to the right. Pitch. Williams sweeping left side, cuts up inside. He runs into a defender at the 41-yard line, and he's bear hugged down right there. Gain of 3 on that play.
I don't know, Mark. I mean, they're moving the football. You credit South. It feels like they've owned this quarter, but they don't have any points to show for it. And the clock just continues to tick, and you need 10.
2:34, 43, 42. 2nd down and 7. From the Monarch 41-yard line. Back from the eye. Bobbled snap by Tollerson. He picks it up off the ground. Broken play. Runs to his left. Now turns. Throws it near side. Leaping grab made by Williams at the 49-yard line. Tries to turn the corner. Does. 40, 35. Up the sideline. 30. 25-yard line. Grabbed by the jersey from behind by Jeff Clary. And taken down for a 1st down at the 25-yard line. How about that? A 16-yard gain on a broken play. Tollerson finding Williams on the right side. He took it down the near sideline for the 1st down.
Did he step out is the question. Good job by Tollerson. Now let's watch the back. Williams, I thought near the sideline. It got awful close here as he cut back.
No, nothing so far. Here we go. 1st down and 10 with the 25. Tollerson play action. Boots boundary side right. Throw it downfield. Tight end. Makes the grab with the 12-yard line. And the big fella Matisse Moore steps out of bounds. That's a 1st down gain of 12. Down to the sideline we go and Reed Fisher.
Well, I think if South wants to come back in this game, I think the mobileness of Tollerson at the quarterback position is a huge key. That's 2 plays in a row now where he's gotten outside of the pocket, able to make an athletic play.
1st down and 10 for the 13-yard line after the second reception of the afternoon by Matisse Moore. 3:12 to play. Clock stops as Moore went out of bounds. 17-7 Coyotes. 4A state championship. It has been a good one. Here at Sports Authority Field a mile high. Chambers goes wide left. Boundary side right goes Mosley. Tollerson under center. Give. Tasco, big tailback. Turns the corner on the right side. Runs over defender to 3. Dives to the end zone. Right pylon. Touchdown. The big guy, it all came down to physics. I'm bigger than you are, and I won't be stopped to the end zone. 17-13.
He made sure he reached it out over the pylon, too, Mark. And finally, South is happy with that official down there for the first time all half.
A 13-yard touchdown run by Travante Tasco. The big guy turned the corner and just bowled over the Coyote defenders into the end zone. All right, here comes the extra point try by Kareem Suma. Kick is up. It is on its way, and it is good. And we've got a 3-point game. 17-14 with 3:04 to play in the fourth quarter. And now it's going to come down to South defensively.
TV timeout.
Can South go out there and force a 3-and-out on Monarch and make Coach Bravo and the Coyotes give it up one more time?
I throw this strategy at you. Do you pop the ball up, much like we saw Monarch do to South? Do you try to see if you can take advantage of a sleeping kick return unit? But if you do that and you don't recover, you give them a short field to work with, and even if you stop them, you may set up a long field for yourself.
That's right. Down to the sideline we go. Here's Reed Fisher once again.
Well, guys, I think with 3 minutes left in this game, I think there's plenty of time here if South just wants to kick it away. They have all the momentum right now. They did get a stop defensively on their last drive. If they could get a 3-and-out, they have plenty of time there. But Andy's strategy is also not a bad idea here.
Well, let's see. Boy, this thing has turned. It has been a roller coaster here in the second half. South was down the goal line. Travante Tasco thought he had himself a touchdown. They ruled him down about a foot outside the goal line. That was controversial. There was what appeared to be an interception. And as Sean Johnson, I beg your pardon, as the defender came down, as Mosley came down with it, he got hit from behind. Ball came loose. It appeared to be an interception and a fumble, then scooped up by Sean Johnson, and it was ruled just incomplete knockdown. So you've had a couple of situations in the second half where South has not had any luck on their side, but right now they find themselves down 17-14 with 3:04 to play in the fourth.
Here's part of the problem, though, with the kick it deep and play defense. You're down to one timeout if you're South. So they're going to eat off a lot of that clock. You may be left with, a minute left, assuming you get a 3-and-out. If you don't get a 3-and-out, you're asking an offense that, even though it had a little luck during the air there, for the most part, has not found that luck aerial-like. They need to run the football a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer here is. That's why I'm glad I'm up here and not down there coaching. I
think you kick away, you get it, you poke it into the end zone, as they've done a couple of times here today. Poke it into the end zone and tell your defense it is all on you. End of the year, last series you may have to play all season long. Go out there and get me a stop, because they have played pretty well here in this fourth quarter.
Punch the football.
Yep. Go after the ball. Get that ball carrier down. And if you're obviously the Monarchs, you are in no hurry on anything out there. Let that clock burn. Back for Monarch. Bruce Oliver is one of the two men back there. South set to kick off. Kareem Suma's got it teed up at the 40-yard line. They've got a unique formation out there. They may try and onside this, and they do. And it gets a bump. It is loose. It's on the live ball out there, and there's a big pile up at the 33-yard line. I think the Monarch Coyotes got there. But who knows what's going on at the bottom of that pile right now.
This is where nothing gentlemanly is happening at the bottom of that pile.
Monarch says they've got it. So does our referee, Jeff Bergstrom. So they tried the onside. Didn't quite get the bounce on it you're looking for. You're obviously looking for the big hop after about 10 yards. Never quite got it.
However, you took your chance.
Yep.
No time really ran off the clock.
You got a good field position.
Right.
Yep.
You still pinned them a little bit. So if you can get a stop here, you still have a pretty good shot at this thing. But if Monarch goes back into typical Monarch mode and they eat up a couple first downs, that'll be the end of the day.
Yep. Ostensibly with 3:02 to play, the way they run their offense, if they get a first down, this thing is just about over. 17-14. What else would you expect from a state high school championship game in the 4A classification? Coming down to the end. Stacked on. Ethan Marks tail the tandem. Give it to him. He runs it up the middle. He gets hit. He drags a defender across the 35 to the 37-yard line. That's a healthy gain of 5 on first down. Second down and 5 from the 37-yard line. And again, Coyotes, they'll saunter on back, get in their huddle. Watch the play clock burn.
Marks is going to need the cold tub by the time he's done. He's been taking a pounding inside. He does not look to run outside often.
I told you he had 41 carries in that semifinal win over Pueblo last for 164 yards and a couple of touchdowns last week. He's been a workhorse here this afternoon with 8 on the play clock. They break huddle. 2:26 in the game clock. 2nd down to 5. Give the Marks again. Oh, good run that time, but he gets very close to the first down. Looks like they down him at the 41. He'll be about a yard shy. That should make it 3rd down and 1 now for the 41-yard line.
Well,
big play right here.
I can almost promise you, Monarchs taking 2 cracks at this 1 yard.
Yep.
So you better buckle your strap there on both sides of the ball in the trenches.
2 minutes to play. So a minute has already burnt off on this possession by Monarch. 17-14. Coyotes with that field goal advantage. A 41-yarder by Jamie Falloon. Right now the difference in this ball game. Stacked eye again. Watson under center. Quarterback keeper. Got a pretty good push. And it appears he might have gotten it by half a yard. That'd be a first down. That might be the ball game right there.
But that far official, who I read the same thing you did, he just stepped inside. That's going to leave him a touch short. I think we may have a 4th down play to decide this game, Mark, but we'll see.
This is going to be close.
Is the far side official from us the spotting official, would you say? Because if that's the case, then they're going to measure.
Yep. So they stop the clock with 1:38 to play in the 4th. 17-14. Coyotes with the advantage. And it is 3rd down. I beg your pardon. Would that not be 4th down?
It's going to be 4th down about a half yard if my eyesight is all right.
Yeah, 4th down, and maybe it would appear anyway be about a half a yard.
Because he needed the 42, and that ball sits just outside the 41.
Monarch did not get a very, very, very favorable spot there, I didn't think. Yep. And they held. Now South cheering. But hey, just hold the phone. Yeah, I was going to say, just hold on because this thing's not over yet. They're not punting this football, I guarantee you.
There they go. I mean, that is about a half yard. That's maybe one more football to the first down.
So 4th down and a short one now for the Coyotes.
What a decision here for Coach Bravo. Now, I think we both expect, well, you've said it, so we both expect he's going for it with the way he thinks his guys can muscle up the middle. But if there's a stop here.
Timeout, Denver South.
And that's their last one. They have to stop him here. This is the game.
This is it right here. Kid Sewell came off the sideline. So he'll be in one wing if they come out in that wing 2 formation. Let's go down to the sideline. Here's Reed Fisher.
Well, guys, you cannot ask for a state championship game to come down to anything closer. 4th and short here, as you guys have mentioned. For both of these teams, just a little history note here. Monarch last won the state title in 2002. For Denver South, 1958. The last time a Denver team won the state title, 1989, Thomas Jefferson.
So it has been a while. They're trying to buck history right here, but they've got a whale of a challenge as this outstanding rushing attack for Monarch with 98 seconds remaining has got a 4th down and roughly a foot to go. They convert here, game over. If South holds, they've got a flicker of light and opportunity.
Interesting.
It's like a championship game is supposed to end, isn't it?
Well, it is, but there's also going to be a lot to chat about if the score stays the same. I'll just put it that way.
Oh, yeah. There's been some controversy in this one. Questionable calls. Here we go. 4th down, a goal to go. Double wing formation. Shifting is Ethan Marks off the left side. He comes back wing left.
Are they bluffing? Are they bluffing the bluff?
Watson now stands up. No, and a timeout is called.
Timeout, Monarch. Final timeout.
Who's got the best poker face out there?
Well, let's not forget that Ethan Marks made that sudden movement in motion earlier in the game. Did draw a defensive back off. Monarch did not snap the ball, or they would have had a first down in that case. I think the coaches saw that, maybe thought they'd see if they weren't a little jittery, as you'd expect them to be. And South has hurt themselves today, but it didn't work there. Now, is he actually going to punt, or is he going to come back out again and actually do it the hard way?
Well, it appears he's still got the offense surrounding him over there. From South perspective, we talked about the touchdown that wasn't by Travante Tasco. We talked about the interception that wasn't. They have hurt themselves terribly with penalties in that first half in particular. So they've got other areas to look, but boy, they shot themselves in the foot a couple of times. Here we go, offense back out there and stacked on. The tail of the trio out there is Ethan Marks. 4th down and a foot. Watch out for that big 6'4" quarterback, Watson. Under center, turns, gives off, marks, first down, taken down by French and Shun Johnson, and that should do it right there. First down with a $1:35 to play.
Marks gets credit for the carry, but all the blockers in front of him did what they've done all day. That's eliminate the linebacker. The first man through that had a shot at saving the season for South was big number 52, Taylor Williams, a man we've called before, and he couldn't get there. Good block from the fullback. That opened up just enough of a hole that they pick up the 5 they needed to hoist that trophy.
Austin Beswick and Henry Oliver on that left side. When they've needed yardage, they've gone there, off left guard. Those two over there have opened up some big holes along with Logan Shapiro, the center. First down at 10 for the 47. I got another whistle and stoppage of play. 1:03 clock running. Now, being that they're moving the ball, that clock should not be running right now.
And we still have South coaches talking to that sideline official that was involved both in the missed timeout and part of the ruling that their player did not cross the ball over the goal line, which would have made this a 21-17 score.
Right now, Monarch just standing at the play clock, down to 4, down to 3. There they snap it, knee down. And right now, there's not a thing the Rebels can do about it. In fact, they won't even have to stay out there because the Coyotes will not have to snap the football once again. Boy, what a day it has been here at Sports Authority at Mile High. Your champions in 4A, 17-14. The Monarch Coyotes knock off the Rebels of Denver South and win the championship here at Mile High Stadium. A celebration commences on the far side. If you're Denver South, man, there's some head hung and of disappointment. There were some moments in this ball game I look back on, both self-induced
Well, you know what?
Questionable calls that they can look back on in this ballgame.
I want to give credit to one of the South coaches. I don't know who it is, and I'm not going to identify the player, but one of the players got one last word into that official we've been talking about. The coach immediately grabbed him, and you could tell by the body language he was not going to have him saying anything to the officials after the game.
Right.
I think a good job of setting an example for that young man, if nothing else.
Well, the Rebels and Coyotes now shaking hands out there. They're starting to rope off the center of the field where they'll do the trophy presentation. We'll have that coming up here at 1:46 in the Mountain Time Zone. And somewhere around 2:30 is when the 5A championship gets underway between Valor and Cherokee Trail. Well, I know there's some things about this ball game. As you're South, you walk away and you wish it would have been different. For Monarch, they feel fantastic winning the championship for Coach Bravo and the Coyotes, but that was one whale of a high school football game we just watched.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and boy, there were points during this game where we certainly didn't think it was going to be that close when it got down to the end. It certainly looked like in that third quarter, Monarch did all they needed to do to crush the spirits of South, but South showing the heart that got them here to this championship game. They hung in until the very end. And they gave Monarch all they could ask for, but you got to credit the Monarch defense in the end, although South probably has a different opinion about it. They did hold up 2 goal line stands inside the 5 that kept that extra 3 points in their favor.
The trophy presentation is still to come, but your champions of 4A here at the Championship Saturday Sports Authority Field. Monarch knocks off Denver South 17-14. Let's take a timeout. Presentation and interviews coming up next here on News Radio 850 KOA. Well,
stand by.
Stand by for what? It was 2007 they got beat by Pueblo West, wasn't it? Yep, I thought that's what it was.
All right, I've got Coach Bravo when we come back.
Okay.
Just going to let him take it out?
Yeah. Reed, you just take it out of the break and go do it right
that's
away.
fine.
Okay?
I got it.
All right.
Congratulations, my man. Congratulations.
Thanks for the patience.
Good job.
Okay, back up to you.
All right, sounds good.
They're going to give the presentation right now.
Oh, is that right now?
Yeah. Coach,
Okay. We may run into the presentation here.
Listen up.
You want me to take it then?
Yeah, you take it. We'll
right.
get it after the presentation.
All right.
Do you guys want to carry the presentation off the PA or no? Okay.
Yep. Well, the celebration continues. They're about ready to present the 4A State Championship Trophy here on Championship Saturday for the Colorado High School Athletic Association. Along with Andy Lindahl, Reed Fisher in the field. I'm Mark Johnson of Sports Authority Field a mile high. Monarch wins it. They were here in 2007, got beat by Pueblo West in that one, but they win this one. A little bit of controversy in it, but the Coyotes got the hardware, 17-14 the final.
Heck of a game that time. You know, it helps when you turn the mic on. I don't know if you knew that or not. Heck of a game by South. Heck of an effort.
Let's listen in on the championship presentation.
The presentation of the 4A State Championship Trophy to Monarch High School, the Monarch Coyotes, and Coach Phil Bravo.
Now, so they hand off the trophy to Phil Bravo and the Coyotes. They'll be celebrating up in Boulder County later on tonight. 17-14 as the Coyotes win this one. Looking at some of the numbers. We're going to talk with head coach Phil Bravo here momentarily. Reed's trying to track him down. A couple of the players, maybe we can get Ethan Marks down there, who was so outstanding. Marks had a monster game, 43 carries. I talked about in that semifinal game, he had 41 in the victory. Yeah, he had 43 carries for 186 yards. In fact, the Coyotes had two players over 100 yards. Kid Sewell also had 10 carries for 112 yards. Each had a touchdown. Meanwhile, Denver South put two players in triple digits, rushing as well. Pete Williams had 18 carries, 131 yards. Javante Tasco, who was a monster in that second half, had 12 carries for 130 yards and a touchdown as well. So the celebration goes on down there with the Coyotes. First downs, 19-19. This was an even ball game for the most part. Rushing yards, 332 yards for the Coyotes this afternoon on 66 carries. South had 38 carries for 303 yards. Time of possession, it was just about 30 minutes to 18 minutes. Down to the field to go, Reed Fisher, and that celebration down there for the Coyotes.
All right, thanks, Mark. Here with Coach Bravo. Congratulations. What a game. I can only imagine what's going through your mind right now.
Well, I tell you what, offense wins games, defense wins championships. And our defense played unbelievable tonight. I credit our staff, for putting together a good game plan. Got a little tired there in the third quarter because we were on the field a lot, but our defense played stellar.
Well, and you talk about the defense. I think that was overlooked coming into this game, but certainly stepped up when it needed to today.
Absolutely. Our defense held Pueblo West, Jackson to, 190 yards, and they had one big run of 80-something, but we've been playing great all year long, and we just, we bend but we don't break, and that's what keeps us in games.
Well, and offensively, you guys certainly get a lot of time off the clock in a hurry with Marks and Sewell, the running game. Just talk about that, what the key that is.
We try to create the tempo of the game. We try to create our tempo, and teams sometimes get frustrated because they're not on the field a lot, and they do things differently than they traditionally would, and as a result, you see, we get teams to do things that they don't like to do, so it was really, really a good offensive tempo day for us.
Last question, Coach. That last play, the fourth and short, was there any doubt at all to go for it on that play?
Not at all. Not at all. We're going to win this thing the way we know how, and that's by ball control.
All right, well, thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, that's Coach Phil Bravo as Monarch gets the win today over Denver South. We'll send it back up to you, Mark, while we try to track down more players.
All right, try to track one down here before we have to take another break. Reader, down the field, Reed Fisher. Well, 17-14, Monarch wins it, the 4A state crown. So I said they're back here in 07, lost that ball game to a Pueblo team, and putting it here today. Partner, any final thoughts on this 4A championship?
Yeah, I think it was a heck of a game, and you have really got it. I feel bad a little bit because we've talked so much about the south end of things, just because, again, that's where the drama seemed to lie in this broadcast. But Monarch just did what Monarch does, and a little bit, I think they're the 4A version of Columbine. They run the football. They know what they do. They know who they are. They don't apologize for it, as you just heard in the post-game interview with Reed and Coach Bravo, and it gets them championships. They get to raise more hardware. They've got another item for the trophy case. And if you're South, you know what? Look at all the good things you did in this game. Forget about that second quarter where it kind of got away from you, and go back and just try to get back next year. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but I think both schools ought to be very proud of the effort they gave here this afternoon. It certainly was an entertaining game.
Well, part of it, we talk about, there was a touchdown that wasn't out there, and then potentially an interception that wasn't. But, from Denver South's perspective, fumble, interception, punt, fumble, and the end of that first half, they had a number of penalties. Must have been 6-7 penalties there towards the end of that first half where they killed themselves. And so, there were certainly some self-inflicted wounds that South put upon itself there, in particular in that first half, I thought.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Going back to the first half, they get the fourth down stop inside of Monarch's own territory, where they can get to the red zone real quick, and you don't convert, you fumble the ball away.
Let's go back down to Reed Fisher. He's got another one of the victorious Coyotes with him.
All right, Mark, we're going to listen in on Ethan Marks here.
You guys, after the Wheat Ridge loss early in the season, how did that change the team and the course of the season?
We just looked ourselves in the mirror, and we never wanted to feel like that again. I think experiencing a loss definitely builds a team's character, and that's what showed tonight.
Ethan, talk about the importance of the running game. You guys have a dual threat there. Talk about the importance of taking time off the clock.
Well, I'd say it's really important, but we got stuffed a little bit, and that's what made it so close of a game in this second half. But our defense held it together, like I said before.
Well, and talk about that last play, the fourth and short, big first down there to pick up it to seal the game.
I was just thinking, get that first. We win a championship in one play. That's plain and simple. That's it.
Well, and lastly, what I can only imagine the emotions going through your mind right now, winning a state title.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you said, from Wheat Ridge, that's really what was a turning point in our season, and we just got so humbled by that loss and stayed humbled the whole season. And I love all my teammates, and we love each other, and that's what helped us through this win.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, that's Ethan Marks. Mark, back up to you.
All right, he had himself a big ball game, 186 yards rushing and 43 carries and a touchdown today. As we're about ready to kind of make that transition, we've got this period of time in between the two ball games. Got to wrap up our coverage with Monarchs Championship in 4A, 17-14 over Denver South. Quick comment. We're going to hear more from the coaches coming up here in this 5A contest from Cherokee Trail and from Valor as well. Valor, it seems like every year they're in the championship as they kind of climb the ladder, but it's going to be an interesting matchup coming up.
Yeah, it is going to be an interesting matchup. And again, I preach heart. I think heart is what's going to matter in this game. Hopefully it helps Cherokee Trail stay in this. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's a lot of people that don't expect this to be much of a game, so we'll wait and see what happens with Valor. But I've got confidence when kids are on a roll and they believe in themselves, and I think that's what's going on with Cherokee Trail. We'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Again, I think as Coach Bravo told Reed Fisher, if Cherokee Trail can maybe force their style of play a little bit more, we'll see if that doesn't work to their advantage.
Well, it certainly was an entertaining 4A game. We thank you for joining us here at 850 KOA. Those of you watching on CHSAA.tv as well, we've still got a lot of stuff going on between the two ball games. There's about 40 minutes or so until the 5A championship gets underway between Valor, which is a steamrolled virtually everyone it's played this season outside of that one loss to a Colorado team, Mullen, earlier in the campaign, and Cherokee Trail, which has made its way to the 5A state championship for a relatively young school that hasn't been around all that long. With the celebration in 4A, 17-14. It ends up a championship for Phil Bravo and the Coyotes of Monarch. I'm Mark Johnson wrapping things up. Corey Lopez is going to jump in here. He, along with Andy and Reed, will take you the rest of the way. Don't forget, coming up later on tonight here on 850 KOA, we've got number 19 Colorado in college basketball up in Laramie, Wyoming, against undefeated Wyoming Cowboys. We'll hit the air at 7:05 tonight with the Buffs warm-up, 7:30 with the Buffalo Stampede, the tip-off between the Buffs and the Cowboys just after 8 o'clock. Stay tuned. We've got more high school football in this state championship Saturday. The 5A title game still to come. Congratulations to Monarch. 17-14. They win the 4A crown over Denver South as we continue here on News Radio 850 KOA.